Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show on a blustery Tuesday. We're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. Big series tonight as the Phils look to bury the Braves. Oh, my. The Phillies taking on the reeling Braves tonight. Zach Wheeler against Chris Sale tonight. And this is a big series for Atlanta, who's off to that rough start. Be nice to kind of stick a fork in them early. And look, you can get a team behind the eight ball early like this, and it just sets a bad tone to their season and forces you to get hot. Like we always hear about, the Mets got hot last year in the second half. When your team, when you start off and are just buried and looking up, things can go off the rails quickly, right? I believe in that adage that says you can't win it in April and May, but you can certainly lose it in April and May. You can get buried, and the Phils have a chance in the next three games to help shovel a little dirt on Atlanta this early. So it'll be a lot of fun. Phillies project differently. You know, I was thinking about them last night because it was their off day, and the Phillies seem to project a little differently in that they seem more serious. I'm curious to see what VG says and what you guys think, our favorite people in all the chat and what you guys watching. Like, what are you thinking? They seem a little different to me. They project a little more serious is the word, right? Like they look as though it's, hey, they know and understand that the clock is ticking on this team and they know how good they are. Look, Dodgers come in and we know how mighty they are. They come in and the Phillies took 2 or 3 and it was a very, they showed you that they're as good as the Dodgers are. And mind you, I know we go crazy and they got off to an unbeaten start, but they lost last night to Washington. So they're going to lose their share of games. Phillies seem like they're going to be more even keel, maybe businesslike is the right approach. I kind of see that. I kind of feel that from them. I think they realize how good they are, how good the pitching is. The rotation's so strong. They're going to hit. So I think they're going to look at it like, if you remember how the last 2 years went, they got at a slow start. The previous 2 years from last year, they had to have a slow start and got hot, made their runs, into the World Series and then into the NLCS against Arizona. And then last year, they got off to the torrid start. A lot was made of, hey, you got to get out hot, all right? You can't have the slow start again. And they listened, and they got off to that ridiculous start. And then once they hit June in the London series, things started to even out and kind of dip. And then when it came to the Mets, it was, they were cooked. I sense this year a different approach. I think they're more patient. I think they're more grounded. I don't think they'll be as manic this year, like some epic start or some epic, or a bad start and then they go get hot. I think you're going to see them just play really solid, very good baseball. They feel businesslike, not too high, not celebrating the small stuff. I think they realize that this is a team that needs to try to get one. I think Bryce has the attitude that's, all right, listen, this is my chance now. This is my window, and it might be, closing a little bit, and we got to take advantage. So I kind of get that sense from them, and that's the best way to be. And I do think there's something with the Dodgers and CBP. I think it's a big deal. I think this is a little bit of a house of horrors. I mean, there's not a lot of data, but it feels like there's a little bit of a house of horrors for the Dodgers. So I like this approach by the Phillies. So we'll dive into a little Phillies. Jimmy Stakes will join us today. We'll dive into some football with Baldy. We got the great Mike Sielski on today. And, of course, the brain last night, the championship game. It was a rock fight, and it was ugly at times, but it was close, and it was thrilling. And I thought this tournament was my favorite in a long time. I actually got satisfaction from the tournament. I got basketball satisfaction, which I don't get from the NBA. And I think the tournament was thrilling. It was fun. I love the one seeds. I was tired of Cinderella. I thought Cinderella wasn't a true Cinderella. I thought there was true parity. And now you're going to get back to really good basketball. And you saw between, I think, the Elite Eight games to the Final Four games to last night's championship game, it was tight, good basketball, right? Thrilling stuff. Every possession mattered. It was frenetic. You saw they were feeling it, right? They were feeling some pressure last night. Certainly Clayton, who got off to that horrible start in the first half, didn't score, came up big, made some big plays, including the three-point play toward the end of the game. And then Houston, it's a shame, but you can't get the shot off. It's a great play by Clayton defensively to run at him, and then as he rose up and he saw Clayton run at him, it freaked him, and he had to drop the basketball, and then that was it. Florida goes on the win. Fun. I thought it was a fun championship game. I know it wasn't aesthetically great basketball, but I thought it was fun. I love this tournament. And now the rite of spring, from the NCAA tournament to the Masters, right? This is it. Next thing on the calendar, the basketball and hockey playoffs. For us, it's about the draft, NFL, and then, of course, the NBA and NHL. We're going to be in draft heaven over the next couple months. Good morning, VG.
What's up, Anthony?
What are you doing, Gregory?
Happy Rex Manning Day to all those who celebrate. I know you probably don't, but for some of us in the world, Rex Manning Day, April 8th, is a fun day.
Who's Rex Manning?
It's from a movie called Empire Records. It's a big event. So there's a festival. It'll be on the weekend on Saturday. It'll be a Rex Manning Day festival because it falls during the week. But
so tell me about it. It sounds interesting.
So it's a Empire Records, a movie about some young teenagers who work at a record store. And they're all like cool,
I've heard about
alternative kids,
right? And it's from the 90s.
Yeah, I think. And they're forced upon some old aging geezer named Rex Manning. He's coming to do an in-store signing and perform at the store, and they hate him, and he's annoying and lame. But his song is horrible, but it became popular in the cult world. And the day that Rex Manning came to Empire Records in the movie was April 8th. So today is Rex Manning Day.
All right. I like that. I like little things like that.
Yeah,
that's
so it's
good.
a little culture thing.
Listen,
South Street will be alive with some Rex Manning stuff.
Anytime, to me, any excuse to celebrate is a good
Big
day.
Bands playing. I heard XPN was playing the single this morning.
Really? Oh, that's good. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. I like the intersection of especially film and culture and music.
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Let's tackle some things. Last night, the game.
Slugfest.
Rock fight.
Yeah.
I like that rock fight.
That Clayton, man. I mean, not a great game, but he's just a winner.
He's just a winner.
Yeah.
He's just a winner.
Came with the defensive play at the end.
I mean, he came running at him.
Yeah.
And it was.
That's like you do the, I don't know if you guys do the drills, the closeout drills where you come running with your hands up, just start yelling like, ball, 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 just anything to distract and get the shooter a
what
little.
What do you think I do?
Are you a ball, 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 ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that.
Great closeout. Got the hand up, and the guy froze.
He froze, and when you're up in the air,
yeah,
it's a sinking feeling.
It is a sinking feeling. And
right?
He got to the point where he couldn't even look to make a pass. He was just all crossed up in his head.
Sharp. Emmanuel Sharp. Cooper Sharp.
Dull.
Yeah. Up. And then when you're up, what am I going to do? And you drop the ball. And you can't touch it. And you're like, oh, my God, hurry up. Somebody come and try to box somebody out. Get something.
Somebody come get this ball. Somebody come get it.
Just because Emmanuel Sharp played well, I thought.
And it was a pretty good play. Like, I watched it a few times on replay. It's a nice play they had. I mean, if he would have just pumped faked.
It was a weird game because the game starts out. The first half, they don't call anything.
Nothing. 2 fouls.
then all of a sudden it was like, we got the memo, and then they called everything.
That's not right either.
It's not.
I mean, once you get a mindset, this is how the game's going, you can't change it up at halftime.
And it was weird, right? Because Florida picked up, it was so one-sided. Florida picked up the first 5 fouls early, and they had 5-6 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. And then it was all Houston.
Yeah.
Florida was freaking out. Got technical foul, the whole thing on the bench. And then Houston started to get fouled. It was almost like a reverse.
You almost neutralize that defense once you start really calling them heavily because they're a physical defense.
Dude, they're a great defense.
Well, I think they're like men.
Yeah.
Aren't they all like 22, 23?
It was funny. We were joking about that last night. My Toots was saying, he goes, look at those guys, man. They look like they
playing against like teenagers.
Yeah,
23-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. There is but it was, I don't know. I mean,
turnovers.
Twice Houston's out to double-digit lead.
Yeah.
Including the second half. And
you think you're not coming back into
right,
that defense.
And Florida was able to erase it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Lots of turnovers.
Yeah.
The last 3 minutes was turnover city.
They killed Houston, though, too, is they can't shoot.
No. They're not going to attack you. And they don't have a bunch of snipers.
No.
No.
I mean, you got one player that could truly, I mean, Sharp played a little well, but they got one player that is really lethal after that. And then their bigs got into foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then Florida, Richard kept them in early when Clayton and Martin are.
Clayton didn't get his first point till second, like 5 minutes in the second half. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were on free throws.
And he just can't hold him down. He went crazy in the last 4 minutes.
Well, and he makes the defensive play of the game. It was fun. I don't know. I love it. We don't have it. We didn't have any skin in the final.
You didn't, but
that's right. You did.
Trying to deal with rain.
Yes, you lost to the brain. Yeah, that's all right.
It's fine.
Trash man.
I'll find an ugly picture of him to put up during the segment. Bring him back down to earth.
I mean, look, it kind of went the way I thought it would go, which it was kind of ugly. I thought Florida was too good offensively, but honestly,
it's a good game. It's not a thriller. I mean, the ending was exciting, but it wasn't.
No, my buddy Boo was like, "That's what a horrible game." I don't know. I mean, it was close, exciting.
It's like watching a men's over 30 league.
It was but here's the thing: it may not have been aesthetically great, but it was close. It was thrilling.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was just basketball. I don't know. Like to me, I enjoyed this tournament so much better than I have in
like
years
this tournament.
past.
I wish he would have got the shot off. I would have liked to seen the shot. I don't want to see it end like that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah,
but by and large,
yeah,
I just thought it was good. I thought the tournament was fun.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. Viewership was up. People were watching. I think everyone's excited about it.
Better. I was thinking about this.
It's good basketball.
Will this tournament be bigger than the NBA playoffs?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't know. You have to see what the ratings were like. Not the final game, but maybe Final Four. See what the final.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're going to have, because it's series play.
Yeah,
you're going to have to do a collective. I just don't know. I mean, if you fast forward, say it's OKC Denver versus Boston, is that going to captivate the world?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
There's nobody I really want to watch on Boston. I'm curious about you, OKC. I like watching them. But
I mean, everybody will root for OKC, but is there anybody in the Eastern Conference that you really want to see? Is there anybody that's going to be any good in the Eastern Conference other than Boston? You got Cleveland.
I don't want to watch Cleveland.
No, but I'm saying that's what you got. It's a bad conference.
There you go. NCAA Final Four scores 8-year high in viewership for CBS.
Yeah,
so
I'm curious to see what it translates.
Which is weird. Everyone's streaming and cutting the cords, and they average 15.3 viewers, 15.3 million viewers.
Yeah, I mean,
that's substantial. It's up 19% from a year ago.
Yeah, I thought it was way better than last year. I mean, it makes sense. My biggest beef is I don't know if it's Coke or Pepsi commercial. I think it's Pepsi.
Oh, you doing this at the Eagles thing?
Again. We went back and watched in slow motion, right? Like even the early cadence has a little bit of.
I heard it last
Can you
night.
find
Yeah,
it?
it's bad.
It's bad,
Yeah,
and
it's
at
a
the
total
end,
rip.
victory.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a total rip.
Are you kidding me? It's a total ripoff.
Can you find it so I
I
can
got
hear it?
beef.
I can look it up.
What's the company?
It's Pepsi. I think it's Pepsi or Coke
Oh, it's
Zero.
Coke. Coke Zero.
Zero.
Yeah,
Coke
yeah.
Zero. I mean, come on. It's a stone ripoff of
I
our
don't know.
song.
They must be getting paid for it. I don't know. Whoever wrote it must be getting paid.
I mean, dude, it was a blatant ripoff job.
I wonder if the Eagles own that song. I'm curious who owns the rights to that song.
I don't know. I don't know. But
Someone needs to send a cease and desist letter.
And here's my guess: is somebody in the agency, in the ad agency who came up with it, is probably from Philadelphia.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I would think so because it's too much alike. But if you're going to do it, you got to flash some bird stuff in it. I know it's
that's
tournament.
a bold thing to do too for a national commercial. So an Eagles fight song. I mean, it's the Eagles,
right? I mean, it's a victory. It's bad. Can you play it? Play it. Yeah.
We are not endorsing Coca-Cola or Coke Zero. We're just listening to the song.
Doesn't matter.
I don't want to be associated with Coke Zero. I'm a Pepsi guy.
You're a poo.
Ew.
You like
Pepsi?
Pepsi?
I don't care. I'm just saying it because you guys go crazy about it.
It's horrible.
Pepsi's gross.
Andrew and I are Coke guys.
Yeah,
I love
you
it.
guys are
Loves
weirdos.
Coke.
All right, here we go. I got you. Ready?
Yeah. Now this is stone ripoff.
Oh, where's my volume? Here we go.
Come on!
Oh, man.
Come on!
Whoa, that's a
And
violation.
even earlier on, we don't play it, but earlier on, you hear it like there's some pieces of it.
Wow.
I want to know to get to the
That's
bottom of
outrageous.
this.
We can
This is a ripoff.
Yeah, really is.
I want to get to know to the bottom of this. Who's the agency?
Yeah, who's the Coke
Where's the
Zero
ad
agency?
Call it up. I want answers.
We got some big agencies in town. Find us an answer. Someone's got to know somebody.
That's unbelievable.
Wow, that is wild.
Victory!
It's the same cadence, everything.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
wonder
same
what Mike
song.
Sielski says about that. I want to ask Mike about that.
Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, real quick, because Stakes is going to join us coming up at 10. Thoughts? Big series tonight.
Yeah,
Do you sense something different about the Phillies? I do.
I do. I mean, you can see it. They don't do the water anymore. I think there's a few things that come into play. The daycare, like they've been excelling. Marsh, Stott, Bohm, they're not lighting the world on fire. They might need to focus a little bit. I think that's part of it. I think the Bohm trade rumors probably had something to do with it.
Here's my question about those three.
Yeah.
Are they good enough?
Well,
Because
we're going to see.
that's the
Stott
key.
might be.
That's the key. So of the three, you bet Stott?
I think
I
Bohm's
would
got
bet
the most
Bohm.
natural ability, but Bohm's head is weird.
Right,
And
but I would
think
bet Bohm as the most. You start to wonder about those three, and truthfully, I mean, if they're good enough.
They're underwhelming. And Bohm's head, he's back to the he's mopey and weird, and it's just, I don't know. He got his head right. And I think an important part of this, you're gonna laugh, but you're not gonna believe it. I think getting Stubbs out of the room helped them be a little more serious. I think the vibes guy was a clown. And he would have been the one running up with the water and stuff and throwing it on them. I think they matured a little bit getting rid of that guy. I knew you would hate that answer, but
Yeah,
I think the vibes guy not being there has caused a little more seriousness in the room.
I think they're looking at it going, all right, well, we were buzzing around the last couple of years. We can't get too high. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Just be good and just focus. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought that was the messaging last year. Get our trophy back.
Last year was, we got to get off to a hot start.
Right. No, they did.
Yeah, right. But what happened was you flamed out.
You went to England and home run derby curse. And
Yeah.
Can't overcome some things.
So I just want even, steady.
Yeah.
Steady goes.
I like it right now. They seem
Be the turtle,
They
not
seem like
be the turtle.
professionals.
Yeah,
Be the what?
be the turtle,
Not the turd.
not the hair.
Oh,
Yeah, be the turtle,
yeah.
not the turd. What?
Yeah, definitely don't want to be that.
All right, we got some stuff to talk about. Let's discuss
We
some
got
of our
people
friends
that we like. We like people over at TrueMark.
Yeah, I like
people-
Timeline.
You're a big timeline guy.
I know.
The sun's coming out. We got some fun stuff coming
Yeah,
up.
it's too freaking cold, dude. It's miserable.
Well, it's April. April's miserable weather-wise.
It's too cold.
But-
Like, I don't mind. I like, listen, I'm good 50s and 60s. Like, I'm good. I don't need 80s yet. That's going to happen. But nah, I mean, this morning I take Anthony to the bus stop. Oh my God, there was snow squalls. Literally snow squalls. I went, yo, Dad, it's snowing. He's like, oh my God, it is. I mean, it lasted seconds, but.
That's what Susario on Fox this morning. She said, I hear there's snowflakes out there.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, let's talk about Timeline. This is my new favorite thing, Timeline. Health longevity supplements featuring their proprietary MitoPure ingredients. That's right. Here you go. MitoPure works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. So here's some of the benefits. Strength, energy, endurance. You get it all. They've done 15 plus years of research. They've secured 30 plus U.S. patents. All right. Timeline knows about the cells in your body. All right. Now, they're the building blocks of life. Timeline works with those cells to give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve health and mobility as you start to age. So what happens is the mitochondria, all right, that's your cell's battery packs. They get dirty and dysfunctional.
Wow, I mean, we dirty them up sometimes with what we put in our body, you know? Sometimes it's not great for the mitochondria.
Right. And so the key is to clean the battery packs. It's just like that. Think about it. Your body's just like every other, the battery in your cell phone, right?
Yeah,
Like, you
man.
clean it all out. Clean it all up. MitoPure recharges your cells and helps your body system works better, all right? It's clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level. So check it out. Right now, Timeline's giving you 10% off of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/PHLY. Timeline.com/PHLY.
It's April. The weather stinks, but April is Financial Literacy Month. And we got something to help your kids get going. Teaching your kids how to handle their money. So if you're a TrueMark Financial member, you've got a fantastic opportunity to help your kids and teens learn to earn, save, and spend wisely with this cool and totally free Greenlight account. Greenlight's not just any app. It's a game changer for kids. Whether you're setting savings goals, learning how to track your spending and saving, or even giving their allowance, you do it all right there in this Greenlight app. And get this, it's pretty cool. Each kid, they get their own debit card. They can make their own purchases, learn how to budget, and build real-world money skills while you stay in control of everything from your phone. You get a peace of mind. They get a chance to make some smart, reasonable choices with their own money. So if you're looking for a way to teach your kids some financial plays this Financial Literacy Month, we can't recommend this enough. It's cool. It's free. It's like training for life's biggest game. So head over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight to get all the details and sign up today. And don't miss this chance to set your kids up for financial success, which is important. Some financial success is good.
Very good. All right.
Hey, can we're all family here. So
Yeah.
there's a chat. Big Farts Jones is in the room.
B.F. Jones.
Yeah, he wanted to give a quick shout out to his dog Rocco, who got sick and had to be put down this week.
Oh, B.F. Jones.
And,
I'm sorry, brother.
He said the puppy when he was a puppy, the dog Rocco got into some trash when he was a puppy, and that's when the name Big Farts Jones was coined.
Dude, I'm sorry, brother. I love to you. They're the greatest. They're the greatest things. The greatest gifts from God are those dogs.
It's a
They
very
really
difficult
are.
thing, losing a dog.
I mean, this morning, I every day I get up the gooch, hug the gooch,
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
and like, Goochie! And then like he goes out, let him out.
Yeah.
And he comes, he's all happy. I give him the treat.
Yeah.
And he comes over, and I give him a hug and rough him up.
Yeah.
And he just loves you.
Yeah. I was just cuddling,
PF
just smelling the fur this morning. Yeah.
P.F. Jones, man. We love you, buddy. Hang in there, man. All right. Joining us, the incredible columnist, as he does each week. Love his work. He's my man, Mike Sielski from the Inquirer. Michael, good morning.
Morning, Ant. Morning, VG. Good to be with you.
So lots to tackle, as always, on a April kind of thing. Let's start with the basketball last night. And I don't know if you saw that commercial, but the direct, blatant ripoff of the Eagles fight song. Did you hear that?
I did. Look, the Eagles are a national team now. And, we love to claim Philly teams as our own, but they're moving into that realm where the whole nation feels like they can take a piece of them. And I think that's part of what you're seeing in something like that. Here's the thing, man, and you guys know this. Like, Boston was a parochial, angry town when it came to sports until the Patriots and the Red Sox and the Bruins and Celtics started winning. And then it was like Boston was everywhere.
Yeah.
And if the Phillies go on a run and maybe win the whole thing, I think you could see something similar where everybody's going to want a piece of Philly.
Well, and it jives with the USA in 2026 and the USA 250 and the Celebrate of the Country, where we're going to be at the forefront of it, right? So it would make sense that we have great success because we had great success during that era. It led, in 1976, 4 years later, all four teams are in the finals, right? So I could see it similarly kind of happen. My beef with the commercial is there's no, you don't attribute to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like my beef is like, it's great that you got the melody on it, but you got to throw an Eagle helmet in there. I know it's madness, but
you got to cite your sources, man. It's plagiarism.
Thank you. That's my beef. That's my beef. The world goes, oh, victory. They just go, they don't have any recognition, but we do, and we don't get the credit for it. You got to throw the credit down. That's a violation.
You know what they should have done is they should have gotten the Eagles pep band to play the song in the commercial, because those guys have some time on their hands now, unfortunately.
Throw those guys a bone.
Hey, so it is, I just found out, it is the Cartwright Agency handled it with the production company's Iconoclast. So these are the people ripping us off.
I'm going to reach out to them after the show.
Sweet.
And I just want to say, I want retribution. All right?
You want an edit.
I do. I wanted it. I don't care where you put an eagle, but there needs to be an eagle reference within the spot.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
Look, anything that keeps us from talking about the way Houston played over the final 90 seconds of that game last night is worthwhile.
Did you enjoy the tournament?
I did. I enjoyed it in large part because my older son, who is 13 going on 14, really got into it. So we would watch it together. So I was more into it than I had been in previous years. I still don't like the lack of Cinderellas early on, but whether it's because of gambling or because of people liking the big names, ratings were up. You can't deny that. So, but I did enjoy it. There are more older players nowadays. You look at those two teams in the final last night, no freshmen, right, playing at all. So no. I guess this is what college basketball is going to be.
I think it's better, dude. And I'm sorry, I know how you feel about the Cinderellas, but I thought that there was too much Cinderella. I thought she was a hoe. I'll be honest with you. I thought there was too much of her. Like, and like after a while, it's not special. The quality of basketball wasn't as good. I thought it was better. I know the game last night was a rock fight, but that's because of Houston, the way Houston plays. I thought it's, to quote Uncle Frank, it satiated my basketball need that I don't get from the NBA.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think you're right? The gap between a 1 seed and a 16 seed and a 2 and a 15 had closed over the years. All of a sudden we waited forever for a 16 to beat a 1, and then UMBC does it to UVA, and then all of a sudden it happens again a year or two later, and then you see more 15s and 14s winning. So maybe what happens now is the impact of a win like that early in the tournament, a genuine upset, becomes greater, and we appreciate it more. And you still get the big names that are paying all their student athletes hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, ending up in the Elite Eight and Final Four.
Yeah, to bring up the NBA, do you think that the Final Four, I guess Elite Eight ratings, because the Final Four ratings are up significantly, will outdo the NBA Finals or an NBA Conference Finals and Finals? Because
I think it has the potential for that to happen, because the two best teams, the likely finals matchup is Oklahoma City and Cleveland. Like, who's into
Boston,
that? Or, I mean, Boston could get there, but the Cavs have a legit shot too. So if Boston gets there, that's one thing. If it's OKC and the Cavs, or if it's Denver and the Cavs, that might be something else.
I know. And you just throw those four teams, any iteration of those four teams, I don't know. I mean, did people like the Celtics? No.
No.
Right? Are they fun to watch? I mean, Denver with Jokic is, but I mean, how is that going to draw you into these playoffs? I think they're in for a very down playoff season in the NBA. I think it's going to force them to rethink some things.
Yeah, I think they lose this momentum during the regular season, right? Like with college basketball, it's baked in that March is big and March is a month. And you do get to know, even if you didn't get to know these players over the course of the regular season, the perception is, and the reality is, they're playing hard. The regular season matters. The conference tournaments matter. And boom, then we get March. The NBA's got an issue where it's like, does the regular season matter? It's like Mean Girls. They keep trying to make these regular season matchups with the Lakers and the Nuggets, or the Lakers and OKC. It's like trying to make fetch happen, and it just doesn't catch on in the public's mind yet. So I think there is an issue, and this wouldn't be unprecedented, Ant. Back in the 70s, coming off of the UCLA dynasty, and with the NBA kind of at its low point, college basketball routinely drew higher TV ratings than the NBA in the mid to late 70s.
Yeah, no, you're right, because Jordan kind of Doc keeps it alive, and Jordan then saves the league, and then you go into the Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and now you're entering that kind of wasteland again in the cycle.
Yeah, I think the league needs somebody. I think that's part of the reason that there's so much discussion around Ja Morant. It's not just that he gets fined or he's being defiant in the face of the NBA and Adam Silver talking to him about doing the gun gesture and all that stuff. It's like Ja Morant could be the star of the league. He's an American-born player. He's a spectacular player. He's fun to watch. And he doesn't want to do anything that makes himself the star. He doesn't take part in the dunk contest. He sits out a lot of games. He's hurt. He does dumb stuff off the court. I think a lot of people who are around the NBA or comment on the NBA look at him and say, dude, you could have the world in the palm of your hand if you wanted it. Why don't you want it?
Yeah, that's a great point. Phillies, do they seem different to you? Is there a different vibe that the Phillies are giving off? Because I see it.
I think a little bit. I think in that they're playing better baseball, fundamental, they're not chasing as many pitches. You see the way they win Friday night where, Real Muto cuts down two, base runners to end the 8th and the 9th inning. I think that gets people fired up. The fact they win 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers and the way that they do it. But, I think I heard you guys talking about this earlier, like Marsh isn't hitting, Bohm isn't hitting. It's not like they're out of the woods here yet in terms of like, oh, this is different. Everything's going to be different. Like they still got some stuff to figure out. Like Romano that's a real concern. Like they need him to start pitching well. They put some eggs in his basket. So it's great. The 7-2 start is great. Absolutely, you take it. Great to see Schwarber getting off to the hot start and Castellanos doing what he's been doing, and Harper's been fine. But it's not like they're all killing it. That they've won some games. Okay. let's if you're the Phillies, let's keep it going.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is they won some games against the Dodgers, right? So like that's a thing, and they don't feel like they're celebrating every little thing. Like their approach seems to be more businesslike. Now I don't know if I'm
that's yeah, that's getting the backup catcher out of there, as VG said, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are on the same page.
I'm kidding. I heard the conversation. Different vibes.
You guys are underestimating the vibes guy. He's a big influence in that room. Small man, big influence.
They got a different mascot, and so everything's different.
Yeah. That's fabulous.
Mike had a point. Just going back to college real quick, he did a good piece this week. It covered a bunch of different topics, but he makes a claim that Houston, best program in America. After Jay Wright and Villanova.
What I was saying, VG, was that if they had won that championship last night, then that's their second Final Four appearance in the last, I think, 6 years. They would have had a championship. They haven't lost more than 8 games in a season, and I don't know when. They've gone to the Sweet 16 like 5 or 6 times. The only time they haven't reached the Sweet 16 recently was the COVID year. So what Kelvin Sampson's doing down there in Houston is really, really good. And they just needed a championship to kind of make everybody kind of stand up and take notice. And of course, they had it last night. They should have won that game, and they blew it. So much for that. But
I was trying to think it's a better program than when he laid it out. I was like, oh, he's building a great program there.
Yeah, and they didn't skip a beat going to the Big 12 either. They've been great in the Big 12 the last couple of years, from the American, Athletic Conference, whatever they were in before that.
Yeah, they were an hour in Temples.
Right.
I mean, that's
right.
That's why I look at them and I go, either I can get hope from it, I think, or I look at it and go, that sucks, because they're light year. That's a university that can do it because it's so big.
Yeah.
And Temple can't. Temple's resigned.
Yeah. Here's my take on that. And Temple, St. Joe's, LaSalle, at least, and maybe Penn, even after hiring Franny Mac, like their power people have to sit down and figure out what their identity is. Each one of those schools, like, are you going to if you're St. Joe's and LaSalle, are you going to compete in the Atlantic 10? If you're Temple, are you really, like, after all this time in this, an American Athletic Conference, like, is this really what you want to be? I don't think it is. I think you're a big local school.
Once and for all, you got to deal with football.
Yeah, absolutely. You chased that dollar for so long and it didn't get you anywhere. Not only is your football program not any better off, now your basketball program's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go all in. I mean, either you got to be all in on basketball.
Yeah, Temple's that's their identity.
Yeah, you got to go all in on basketball. I just don't. I don't know how you build the football thing there. I just, for years we talked about it. Matt tried. You can't keep coaches like that. Therefore,
yeah, exactly. You're never going to keep a successful coach there. He's always going to bolt for somewhere else, and you can't blame him. You can't blame Al Golden. You can't blame Matt Rule. They did as well as they could do there, and then they're gone, and then you're left with what you're left with. And Philadelphia is in the shadow of Penn State. That's Philadelphia's college football team. It's not Temple. It's never going to be Temple.
Yeah. Yeah. No, listen, it's a great point.
Yeah. You also in your point, I mean, I had my reasons for getting Torts out of here, wanting him out of here, which were lengthy. But you said that there was fear, you thought, from that free agents might not, since they're going to be active in free agency, it might be a deterrent for free agents to come here to play for Torts.
Yeah, I saw that. That's smart. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Hilford, he said that to Kevin Kurz of The Athletic. I mean, he didn't say it overtly, but he certainly hinted at it, that they wanted to get someone in who got, quote unquote, guys would want to play for. And no matter what you think of Torts, as a motivator, as a head coach, his methods, all that stuff, the fact of the matter is he's got a reputation around the NHL. And there are a lot of guys who are very outspoken saying, I did not have a good experience playing for this guy. And that's sometimes all it takes to dissuade a free agent from wanting to come play for John Tortorella. So that's a factor here. The Flyers are not in the position anymore where they're one of the franchises that anybody who's looking for a big contract or even a less than big contract would say, oh, well, I got to go to Philadelphia. Why? They've won one playoff series in 12 or 13 years. They're not the franchise they used to be. They got to make themselves as welcoming as possible. And moving Tortorella out of there, I think, is only going to help them in that regard.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I'm with you. How do you reconcile Flyers and Sixers over the last, that leading into to end the season and then knowing that the draft's around the corner? How do you reconcile both of them or each of them?
I think the Flyers finally recognized what rebuilding meant. I hear from a lot of fans of that team who say, oh my God, they've been rebuilding forever. No, they haven't. Just because they were bad doesn't mean that they were rebuilding. And they were still trying to kind of tread water and half-ass it and signing guys to fill gaps. I'll never forget Chuck Fletcher justifying picking up Tony DeAngelo because, well, we needed a right-handed shooting defenseman. No, you didn't. You needed to break the whole thing down and build it back up again. And maybe Danny Briere and Keith Jones are going to get a lot of this wrong, but at least they're recognizing this is what they need to do. The Sixers almost went the other way, right? They started out saying we're going to break this thing down and build it back up. And they built it, and then they messed up the last stage of it. They couldn't draft well, and they had 2 number 1 overall picks and took 2 guys who couldn't shoot. And here we are. And now they're breaking it all down again. And because of the nature of the NBA and the salary cap and who they have and signing Embiid and George and all this stuff, like, where are they going to go? I'm much more optimistic about the Flyers' future than I am the Sixers.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, I've had a lot of trouble. And at some point we talked about it. You wanted them to protect the pick and tank. But God, they're so far off your radar.
Yeah.
And they leave a terrible taste in your mouth. Like just mentioning that, and I love that team, right? But just the mention of their name is like, ew. And I feel bad for a kid like Grimes, who all he wants to do is ball out. And they're just so bad and ugly.
Yeah, and the indifference is the thing, right? And the fact that nobody cares. If you remember during the process, like that second year when I think it was when they lost their first 16 or 17 games of the season, like people locally and nationally couldn't get enough of ripping them for, oh, they're tanking and this is a blight on the league, et cetera, et cetera. Now nobody cares enough to rip them for this. And they've lost 12 games in a row. Like this is,
I know.
They're not even running into a win accidentally.
No. It's ew. It's just so ugly in so many ways. Are you into the Masters?
A little bit. I'll watch it a little bit. I'm not one of these guys who like waits for Thursday and then like plops down on my couch for the next 72 to 96 hours to watch it. But I usually keep it on in the when I'm home and have a few minutes. Sure.
Yeah. So the idea of mystical this course, like, do you buy into any of that stuff?
No,
like they do a great job with the commercials and the marketing. Like I get into it. I'm not. I don't have time to golf, so, but I do love the whole thing.
I mean, it's my favorite tournament event it's my favorite golf event to watch. It seems bigger and more important for all the reasons you just mentioned. But I'm not going to be locked in on Sunday. I'll have it on, but I'll flip back and forth with the Phils.
All right, last thing, and then the Iron Eagle last night as the lead play-by-play guy. I mean, you coming off of Nance, Vern, like some great, Iron Eagle.
You're not a fan?
Do it for me.
Oh, I'm an Iron Eagle guy. And not only that, and Bill Raftery, not just saying this because he's a fellow LaSalle alum, is so good.
He's the greatest.
So good.
But that's my point. Iron Eagle's not up to Raf status. It's like
I disagree.
It's like a great actor. Like you have a great actor and you have a guy that's just not good, not up to that level.
See, I disagree. I have soured on Nance over the years. He got so canned to me.
Wow.
And so like rehearsed that I didn't care for him anymore. I don't like him on football. I hate him and Romo together. I don't think it works at all. And I got tired of him on college hoops. And I like Ian. I do.
You do. He feels like too MSG.
Mine studio glutamate.
He's too New York. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I don't think he's big enough. I miss the big
I agree.
boys.
I don't think he's got a good enough voice to be the big
like
names.
Joe Buck.
Yeah.
Is like to me.
See, I love Buck, but again, like I want a guy who feels more natural and can be spontaneous. And that's one of the things I love about Buck and that is underrated about Buck is the one-liners in the moment, the dry sense of humor. I know people think he comes off as being
I love Joe Buck. Yeah.
Haughty and superior.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
And I like Ian for the same reason. He makes a joke here and there. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but I feel like when there's a big moment, he hits the moment.
Yeah. Not like Vern was. Vern was so much.
Vern's great. Vern
was the greatest. I like Fowler.
Fowler's good.
Fowler's great.
Yeah,
Fowler's good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the play-by-play guys.
I don't know if
that
they're
hit
out
the
there.
Note.
Yeah. Remember who was
I mean, Al Michaels is not who he used to be. He's doing
No.
Amazon football on Thursdays, right? He's not anywhere close to what he once was. There are only so many of these guys left, and these voices left out there.
Yeah, Tirico is solid.
Tirico's excellent. Tirico's really good.
Yeah.
Gus Johnson.
I'm a Gus fan. I love Gus. Is Gus too over the top for you?
No, I love Gus.
Oh, okay.
I love
Yeah,
him.
like
Yeah,
Gus.
I would love to have Gus called final.
Yeah.
Like Gus
That would be
rap
fun. Yes.
would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be great.
Gus is the only reason to not go to the Big East tournament and watch the games at the Garden. Because
Yes.
you stay home and you listen to Gus.
Yes.
And Gus is great.
Yes, I'm with you. That's great. Oh, this is awesome. When are you coming in? What do you got going on? Fill me in on your life.
So I'm heading to Villanova tomorrow for the Kevin Willard intro press conference. I just hung up the phone this morning, and you'll love this. On an interview for the Rocky book, I will reveal in the book why Stallone named his turtles Cuff and Link in the movie.
Oh,
sweet.
that's a great nugget.
Yeah, really good nugget. Really good nugget. And it's
awesome.
tied in. It's tied into his time at Lincoln High School in Northeast Philly.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's a great nugget. This book's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait to read this book.
I know. You can tell.
I'm going to read your notes.
You got it. I may send you a copy of the manuscript to proofread it.
I'm in. I'm in. I would love it. I love it. I would love it. That's fantastic.
Cool.
My brother, you're the best. We love you, pal.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, VG. Good to see you guys.
Great to
Mike.
see you, Mikey. Here he is, Mike Sielski, great columnist. That book's going to be amazing.
Oh, dude, you can just tell.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You can tell it's going to be, because every time he gives us a nugget, it's amazing. It's amazing every time he shares something with us.
Spectacular. It's going to be spectacular. All right. Time now for someone to live in the trash can.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Here's your daddy.
Oh, there he
Where's
is.
your
There he
daddy?
is. There he is. There he
I
is.
mean, I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to say anything, but it's funny. That game last night, what's the saying? The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. That game was the definition. The Duke game with what happened at the end of that game with Houston, an all-time win. In fact, I went through the entire annals of the Final Four. I ranked it number one. The only thing I came up with was the Memphis Calipari loss when they blew a 7-point lead late to Kansas when Chalmers hit that three with 3 seconds left.
Wow, Mario Chalmers.
That game last night
Chalmers
was just absolutely I actually really felt bad for Houston. They absolutely had that game. Feel like they were the better team, quite honestly, in my opinion, watching it. They just couldn't do anything offensively. They can't shoot.
They got one. They have truly one great offensive player.
Yeah. Well, that's what did them in, and that's
Because
they
I
just
don't
didn't
think
get enough there.
Sharp is a great offensive player. I think he's all right. But you got one.
No, Anthony, while they were improved as a team, look, these teams had a lot of similarity. They both were very good defensively. Yeah, we talked, Anthony, I thought it was going to be a low-scoring, win for Florida, which it turned out to be. But I felt like watching, and I texted you at halftime. I go, there's two parts of me watching this. I go, part of me is like, shucks, man, Clayton has 0 points and it's a 3-point lead for Houston. How can Florida not win? That didn't happen in the second half, and it didn't. He scored 11, which was huge. And the other part of me is like, all these shots are hard. I could see why they're not scoring. Why is that going to change? So it was an interesting game. I thought it was going to be tight throughout. It was, and it was just but I will admit, I had a financial interest in Florida winning, so I was rooting for Florida. But I have to admit, I felt not guilt, but I felt bad for Houston because I felt they deserved to win the game as a totality. But they just, as you said, Anthony, you nailed it. They just didn't have enough offensively to get it done, and too many empty possessions.
Are you giving credit to the Florida defense for that?
Well, Florida, I think, does have a good defense, but it's funny. You know what I thought? And I'm a weirdo. I admit I'm a total weirdo, and this is just the way my brain operates. Guys, at the end of the first half, the score I want to say was 23.
They were up by 3.
23 or 2.
No, 27.
Right, and I think it was a 6-point game. Yeah, it was a 6-point game. It was like 28-23 or something like that. And there was a play where Houston would have gone up 8 or 7, and the guy blatantly interfered with the ball at the end of the half. He went on the rim, took the ball off the rim.
Yeah, that was an offensive goaltend. I mean, that was a goaltend. Yeah.
It was. And then they went down in transition and hit a 3. And that is a 5-point play. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
The entire play is different. And in a game like that, now again, did they have plenty of chances to overcome it? Heck, they had a 12-point lead.
Yeah, but Florida picked up 2 technicals.
What the heck was that?
Well, first of all, it was bizarre the way the game was officiated because the first half,
I agree,
they swallowed their whistle. Second half, they come out and called everything.
House on fire. Yeah.
And Florida picks up 6 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the half. The bench goes crazy to get teed up.
I agree.
Right? And then Cephalou, slams the ball on the floor, and he picks up 1. So I don't know. I think all that stuff kind of evened out. I think, the problem is they just don't have anybody other than Cryer that you can count on.
Anthony, it's interesting because we talked about why I thought Florida would win. It's like they had a guy. Now, the guy had one of his worst games of the year, theoretically, in Clayton, or they did a great job on him. But at the end of that game, they're down 60-57. I think there was 3 minutes left. They're down 3. Huge possession. Nails that 3-pointer, 60-all. Makes every freaking free throw.
Yeah, the 3-point
They had a player
which was nice.
Correct. They had a guy that could get it done when need be in a big spot. Houston, you're right, just didn't have quite as many, as good as they were, as well coached as they were. And it's funny, one thing, having watched Sampson throughout the years, that I thought he was as good as anyone. And you saw it in the Purdue game. Big spots, end-of-moment games, execution-wise, they were a 10 to me. They were a 10. Yesterday, they were a 1. They turned over 4 straight possessions to end the game. That's just one as a coach.
Conversely, if you look at how well coached Florida was, they converted after every timeout. They
100%.
All those big plays, like you had, pick and rolls, like they got easy buckets after timeouts.
For sure, Anthony. Absolutely, for sure. Absolutely. Anthony, bigger than all that, bigger than Florida winning the national championship, I think everyone here would agree, was 10-6.
Listen to this guy.
6.
I was thinking about this.
And I'm not talking Julius Erving 6. This is a lame 6. Okay?
I was trying to figure out why I was struggling. And it's because, I'm the trash man. These are elite programs. I'm good with the Sacred Hearts. I gave you the Gore, the Trash Nationals yesterday. I just feel my way around the trash.
Right. 2 said, VG goes Nats. That's plus money right
It
there.
was, and they were at the Dodgers were at the White House. Bad weather, fit right. I'm the trash man. Like I can't hang out with the elites. Like
You out of your comfort zone.
This
I get
is
it.
who I'm competing against. We got a picture. We got to pick. That's who I'm competing against. He's the elite of the elites. He's in those circles. I can't deal in those circles.
It's true.
I'm
They call me the great one. Not
like this.
The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. That's true.
Yeah.
You are a street urchin.
Yeah. I got my finger in the trash, not these high-profile games.
Yeah, you're picking up pizza crusts off the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And the brain picks up bars of gold.
Bars of gold. Yeah. They're just falling out of his pocket.
Yeah. Or Bitcoin. He's got Bitcoin coming out of his ass.
Oh, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. You guys are the best.
Yeah, so
it's funny.
Have your fun. Step on the trash. We'll be back. We'll be back.
No, you will.
You can't get rid of the trash juice in the trash can. We'll be back.
I know you will, but was that the best Final Four in the last? I don't even know. I thought that was.
I loved it. I loved it. I was saying it earlier. I loved it. It's so much better than the NBA. That tournament satiated me. Uncle Frank said it. He's like, it satiated me, and I agree with him. It did.
Now we're going right into Braves. Rolls right in.
All right, so here's what I want to do. All right?
Yes, sir.
So let's have a season-long, taking us up to football. All right? Football will be the cutoff. All right?
Yeah.
So we're going to allow, because we're entering playoffs too.
Basketball?
We're going to do baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball. You got to have.
Oh, he's going to smoke me. I'm terrible.
Well, you don't have to. You can pick whatever you want. You can do all three: baseball,
okay.
whatever it is.
Okay.
But we're going to have units. You each start with 1,000 fazools.
All right.
All right?
Yes.
So this is the game.
Wow.
You each get 1,000 fazools. Unlimited thing, but you gotta, you can't max. Like you can bet whatever you want. If you're up, if you're in the negative, you only have another 1,000 buy-in each time. All right, so it's not like you can go crazy.
It's not unlimited buy-ins.
No, it's unlimited buy-ins, but at $1,000 fazool increment.
Okay.
All right. So there's a mandatory 3 plays a day.
Oh snap! All right.
Oh my God! Jeez.
All right, what should we say? 2 days? 2? You want 2?
I like 2.
Is that too many? 3? I'm coming off top of my head.
Whatever the rules are, I'll abide.
I'm whatever. I'm flexible.
Let's go 3. 3's every day. You each put 3 plays in.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
And the increment's up to you guys.
All right.
And you can do any sport.
Okay.
All right. Does that work for you?
All right. That works for me. So we get 1,000. We get 1,000 in fictional money.
1,000
money
fazools.
management.
All right. And 3
No in VG, he'll come out betting like 300, 350, and 400 in the first 3, and he'll be like, I'm out.
Well, you see the sports I find in the trash.
What you can do is you can go into the negative, but only 1,000 at a time.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm fine.
All right. We'll do this until football season.
All right.
All right. Through the summer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you can go Champions League.
You go Masters.
You go Masters.
Ooh,
go whatever you want. All right.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster. The
Nice.
sporting world.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
This
I like
is
it.
Brain v Trash. Roman numeral 2.
But you know what? This gives him a chance to pick whatever things he wants. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
He could find
I can
an
dig
eighth
around
world
in the
soccer
dumpster.
game.
Yeah.
Exactly. He could search that dumpster. He could find a game that no one's even heard of the two teams, even their parents, and he'll find that game, and that'll be his specialty.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
No
And
excuses.
Andrew will keep track. I'll keep
All right, I
track,
like it.
but Andrew will be a part of this. All right.
All right, man. I like it.
All right. What do you got tonight? Anything?
FIBA champion.
I do got a couple things. My friend.
Okay.
Zach Edey, last 3 games, Anthony, coaching change. I always say, did something functionally change? Yes, with Zach Edey, it did. Taylor Jenkins out, new coach in, new coach giving him big minutes. 16, 13, 21 rebounds his last 3 games. They made it 9.5 against the mighty Charlotte Hornets. I'm going over.
All right.
Pascal Siakam, averaging 21 a game. Recent trends have not been as good. I don't care. Made it 17.5. That's too low. 49-26 against a bad Wizards team. That's only gives me pause for concern. Yes, it's a bad team, but I hope it's not too much of a blow up. But I still go over 17.5. Baseball, got some stuff for you. Nick Lodolo, Cincinnati Reds, 13-8, averaged 6 strikeouts last year. They made the over on 4.5. I think it's too light. My favorite, or one of my favorite pitchers, Paul Skeens. They made 6.5 strikeouts. He went 17-9 last year. I'm going to go over 6.5 strikeouts with Paul Skeens anytime I can. And I'll give you 2 other ones, straight games. Under 4, Cole Reagans, Pablo Lopez in the 5-inning line. 2 really strong pitchers. I made this closer to 3.5 juice to the under. I was able to get 4 juice to the under. And the last but not least, Garrett Crochet, Boston Red Sox, laying half run against Toronto Blue Jays. Had to lay a tiny price, laying a half run through the 5-inning line. Willing to do that with an elite pitcher like Garrett Crochet. Only had to lay, I think, $1.15. Thought it was very reasonable.
You got it. There it is. All right. We'll start tomorrow.
All right.
Start tomorrow. Come prepared.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right. Like
Yeah,
it. All right,
man.
Brain. Good stuff, buddy. Thanks,
Be
pal.
good, guys. Appreciate you both.
Congratulations.
Be good.
Congratulations, Brain.
Brain. That'd be a fun contest. You and the Brain.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed the tournament.
Yeah.
Brain takes the first lead in the Butler bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ultimate Butler.
Yeah. He could fly me down to Florida. I'll
And
be his butler for a
you'll
day.
be his butler
Yeah.
in Florida.
Sure. West Palm Beach action? Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of our friends. Let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Bend, Salem, and the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Now, the Brain gives you everything you need on the app, right? So we just gave it tonight, Zach Edey over rebounds, Siakam over points, Nick Lodolo and Paul Skeens over their strikeout totals. And he gave you Boston minus a half a run in the 5-inning line. So there you have it. All right. So you can play any of those games, right on the app. You can do parlays, in-game stuff, all the baseball, Phillies, Braves. What's Phillies tonight?
Hold on. I'm looking at New Zealand basketball. Canterbury Rams -5 versus the Franklin Bulls. We see what the Phils are.
What are the Phillies tonight?
They got
With Wheeler, they got to be the favorite. Although it's Sale. It's Wheeler Sale.
Let me see. It might be the other way.
Really?
Let's see. Yeah, Braves -117. Phil's even money +100.
I think you got to go Fightins.
Might put 1,000 fazools on the fight.
I think you got to go Fightins with Wheels.
Yeah.
Wheels up. I go Wheels up tonight. Anyway, you can play it on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. There's always another way to win. So whether it is the casino with live dealer blackjack and roulette and craps, or the hot online slots like Cash Eruption, or the ones after the TV shows like Peaky Blinders and Squid Games, or the movies like Rocky and Ted, which one do you like?
Well, now I'm playing Alo Hawaii, all one word.
Oh,
Alo
really?
Hawaii Cash Collect.
Really?
Yes.
There you go. It's right there on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. We'll have some fun with it. In fact, new customers, you're down $1,000. If you're down the first 24 hours, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. You got it. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's talk about some flooring. With Empire Today, they got all the flooring you need today. And so they got great flooring, but check this out. They have shop-at-home convenience, which is really cool and takes so much stress out of your world. They got the right product for your needs. They got quick and professional installation, and they got a price match guarantee. Empire Today, it's the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, there's copycats out there, but they can't beat Empire Today on quality. They can't beat them on service or speed. So what they'll do is they advertise low-quality products that Empire Today simply won't carry. Empire Today, they don't promise to beat the lowest prices, because anyone that does that is putting flooring in your home they wouldn't put in their own. So one thing they have that's really cool is a virtual floor designer. So if you're unsure about how the flooring would look in your house, they got this software. They come out with a laptop. They take some pictures of your house, the room you want to put the flooring in, and throw some floor samples in there so you can see what it looks like. And they pride themselves on their own shop-at-home convenience. Customers shop with the floors. They see exactly what you're getting before you install it. And more importantly, I think this is cool. They service their own warranties. So if an issue pops up, you just call Empire. You don't have to track anyone down. They service all the warranties themselves, and that's pretty darn convenient. Schedule a free in-home estimate. All listeners can receive $350 off. All you got to do is use the promo code PHLY. Restrictions do apply, but check it out. EmpireToday.com/PHLY for more details.
Empire Today. All right, this portion of the show brought to you by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on allergy relief and catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and you name it. Walk in or schedule a vaccine appointment at riteaid.com. All right, yes. Now joining us to talk some fighting Phillies from our allphly.com, the great baseball man himself. Let's call him Jimmy Steaks. Jimmy Salisbury. Good morning, Steaks.
Good morning. Good morning. The sun is out. Haven't seen it in a few days.
Oh, dude. I had a weekend. I had 6 baseball games in 3 days this week.
In the raw weather, huh?
3 on Sunday. Dude, by the end of it, I literally got home and I laid down for 5 minutes and was out.
Yeah.
I woke up at like 10:30 and watched Lotus. I mean, I was like dead. I mean, we had a game Friday night. We had 2 Saturday and 3 Sunday. Oh, my God. This weather. We got one tonight. It's too cold.
Too cold.
Too cold. You're right. Too cold.
Yeah, no good. All right, buddy. There's a big one tonight in Atlanta.
Whoa, yeah.
Right? And it's a great pitching matchup. Wheeler Sale, the Braves. I know it's early, but listen, they're teetering. And they're everybody's talking about it. Like, oh, and I believe in the adage, you as a great baseball man, the whole idea that you can't win it in April and May, but you can lose it.
Yeah, I believe in that too. Can you imagine if that was Philadelphia and they were having a start like that? Oh my God.
We would be freaking out. Freaking. They were freak. They were freak. If you remember the 2 years before last, they got off to slow starts, right? So they're like 2 games on the 500 at 23 and 25 or 18 and 20, and we were freaking out, let alone something like this kind of start.
Right. And it's so magnified in the first week. Obviously they got some key guys that are mending and not back from their injuries yet, but in Strider and Acuna, but they just don't score runs. They're last among all major league teams in basically offense all across the board, pretty much all the big categories. So they're not scoring runs. Now though we both kind of acknowledge you can get buried. I still think it's too early to count them out. They can get back in this thing. They're really professional. They got a steady manager. They got some veterans. They're getting some talent back. But for the Phillies, I think this is Atlanta's already 6 games out. So go down there and try to increase that deficit and win the series. But I don't think the Phillies can think that way. They just need to think, regardless of who's in the other dugout, just go win the series. Win series. That is such the key to baseball. Win series.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm completely.
Nonetheless, a great pitching matchup, as you mentioned, with Sale, the Cy Young winner last year, and Zach Wheeler, number 2 in the Cy Young last year. And the interesting thing about Wheeler is, so Anthony, that ballpark down there is outside the city limits. It's near Marietta. It's Cobb County, but the actual town is called Smyrna. And Wheeler was born in Smyrna, and he played in the Smyrna Little League. So it really is kind of a quote-unquote home game for him. He is a man of few words. I've asked him a few times if he gets pumped to pitch against the Braves, and he says, no, just another team. But I think deep down inside he does, and I think this one will carry even some more juice because though he acknowledged that Sale deserved the Cy Young, Zach Wheeler did in spring training, I think he wants to win it, and I think any competitor or human being would want to go out there and really turn it up against a really worthy opponent in Chris Sale.
I'm with you. I'm now the Phillies don't historically hit Sale, right? Like that. If you start to look at their career numbers against Sale, they're not very
a lot
good.
of teams don't hit Sale last year. A lot of teams didn't hit him.
Without a doubt. Without a
I
doubt.
would wonder if we're going to see some right-handed stickage in the lineup tonight. Maybe I think you got to figure out a way to stick with Edmundo Sosa against the left-hander. Maybe play him in left field, and then maybe Rojas in center field. So I think Rob Thompson will try to get some right-handed bats in there against Sale.
I'm with you. I think you got to go Sosa. Sosa's off to a great start, seeing the ball well. I'm with you.
Yeah, he's been great. He getting multiple hits in every start, and I thought he was such a star of one of the stars of Sunday's victory, where you locked down a series against the Dodgers. I mean, it was really great theater. He gets dusted by Blake Trinan in the 7th inning and pops right back up and beats out a double play ball to deliver the go-ahead run. I mean, he easily could have had his, not had his wits and maybe not gotten down that line as quick. I mean, who would have blamed him? That ball 95 and change right under his chin, but he got up and he ran his fastest sprint time of the season to first base to deliver that run. So really a huge play there.
That was a big play in the locker room, too, because Castellanos mentioned it, called that out. Like, they noticed that. It almost felt like a dig the bome a little bit. Like, he just got it. His head almost rung in, and he didn't even he didn't flinch in anything. Just dug in and got right back to it.
Yeah, I actually asked Castellanos about that because that was something I wanted to write about. And he was like, guy's a stud. Can't teach that. Jumped right back up. See how fast and Castellanos mentioned, you see how fast he got back in the box. I mean, if you go back and look at the tape, he pops right up and he is, digging those spikes into the ground, into the batter's box. He was really determined. I thought that was a really good example of an athlete channeling his emotion in a good direction. Because it is
Great
emotional
point.
to get dusted like that.
Yes.
You could jump up and be all ticked off, and now you're out of your game, you're out of yourself, you're losing control. He channeled it the right way.
Yeah.
It made contact, against a really tough sinker and then beat it out. I mean, it's not like he lashed it to the gap, but, he put it in play. He wasn't unnerved about what happened. And then he, there's so many little things in this game. Just, going as hard as you can, 90 feet, really was a difference maker there in that ball game.
Great point.
Yeah, you saw him he composed himself. He took 2 really deep breaths.
Yeah.
It was a real professional reaction in that bat after that. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's an impressive guy. He's very well liked in the clubhouse for his humility, his hard work. The fact that I think he produces, he does produce when you use him. I still like him as off the bench and a couple starts a week. Love the energy he brings. I do fear, and we've seen it in the past, that maybe gets a little overexposed if he's out there every day. But, he filled in for Trey Turner last year for a whole bunch of weeks and did a great job. He's a great guy to have on the team.
Totally.
Been a heck of a pickup, really kind of an under-the-radar trade deadline pickup. I remember we were in Pittsburgh a few years ago in 2022 when they got him. And there was no inkling that this thing was coming, but he was and he'd kind of fallen out of favor. He hadn't played well in St. Louis, but he's found a nice niche here in Philadelphia.
I'm with you. I love Sosa. Let's go dive into the Braves, what you're seeing, right? So they're off to what's shocking to me is they win Friday night. They get well. It looked like and then Saturday they get shut out by the Marlins and Cal Quantrill and their defense and their bullpen. I'm looking at their lineup and she was cold. So Michael Harris, Ozzy's hitting 194, Albies.
They got a bunch of one-somethings in that lineup.
Yeah, Austin Riley, 143.
He'll get going. Don't worry about that kid.
No, he's a stud. I'm with you. But do you look at their head? Like, again, you got Harris, Michael Harris, Albies, Ozuna, Olsen. All right? Riley. But then
Ozuna, I think Ozuna leads the league or the majors in walks. So
yeah,
sounds like he ain't getting nothing.
but look at after that. Brian De La Cruz, who they got from the Marlins, I don't know. Baldwin catching. Nate Allen, who they get from Cleveland, who's no good. And Kellenick, who they got last year from Seattle, who's not any good. Like, that lineup is pretty thin. I know you're waiting on Acuna, but that lineup is not what it used to be.
No.
Yeah, and Phillies are catching them with their best pitcher, and they're catching them when they're down. So, as the saying goes, maybe make a little bit of hay. Even though it's so early, every win you get in April is one, they all count. September, not getting into October. So I'm really eager to see this series and eager to see this pitching matchup. But you can't have any sympathy for the Braves because they're struggling. They don't have a couple big guns, because I just have a feeling that at some point they're going to stir a little bit and still be formidable in this division. So if the Phillies can kind of maybe run away from them a little bit here, that would be a good thing. But the Phillies, one of their challenges to me is playing well the whole season, playing well over 6 months, playing consistently well, because we saw what they did last year. They were otherworldly early on the backs of their starting pitching, and once again, starting pitching has been outstanding. I remember when they went to in early June, when they went to London last year. I think they were 40-19 coming out of London. I don't know. Over their last 102 games last year, coming out of London, in their last 102 games, including the playoff series against the Mets, they were 51-51.
Yeah.
They were 500 teams. So they need to, lengthen their success and keep it consistent. And, another thing Castellanos said after that game Sunday is, we had a good series against the Dodgers, and we're a good team, but if we don't continue it and have another good series, and, it all evens out. So they want to keep winning here.
Well, that leads you to my theory today. And watching them, they look, Jimmy, a little different. Their approach seems more businesslike. They're not celebrating little things. They kind of understand, where they're at, like that this is an important year, that, 2 years before this, they got off to slow starts, played really hot. Last year, they got off to the hard start, like you said, and then leveled off. They were a bit manic. And this year, it feels like their approach is more businesslike, right? Like understanding the goal at hand.
I would agree with you. The celebrations are a little, tame, more tame. We're not seeing that big, water dump after every win, kind of acting like they've been there before. And they know where the prize is. The prize is in October, and they've been denied it now 3 years in a row, and they're very conscious of it. They're tired of hearing about 08. They want to do their own thing. They're tired of hearing about not getting it done the last 3 Octobers, and they really are resolved to get it done this year. And I would agree with you. I mean, they're a veteran team. And they do have a lot of pros who are businesslike in their approach. But, I mean, speaking of approach, they stressed all winter and in spring training about being more, I hate the word patient. I hate it, but being more selective. And I know it's a very, very small sample size. 9 games is 5.5% of the season. But so far, and we saw it in that big third inning, Glasnow on Sunday melted down a little bit, and they laid off. Some of the pitches were easy to lay off because he was kind of melting down, as I said, but some of them were tight and they were close. Did a good job making him throw, did a good job, feeding off his struggles, and laid off some tough pitches. I go back to the day against the Rockies where Trey Turner was down 0-2 and then laid off a bunch of stuff in the dirt from that lefty to draw a big walk. Really good at bat, and I think it kind of spoke of his approach. But they're seeing more pitches. They're not chasing as much. Their chase rate is much improved, or it's improving. Time will tell over the course of the year if it is indeed improved. I still think there'll be pockets when they chase, and there'll be nights when they chase and games when they chase that you scratch your head. But right now, it appears that they are really working to make those adjustments and having a little success with it. When you have success, sometimes it breeds more success. So that's a good thing. But, I still think, when you get that cookie down the middle, you don't always want to be taking it. Case in point, Castellanos the other day, Glasnow's walking the ballpark, and, there would be one school of thought. New pitcher comes in, Vesia comes in. Oh, there's one school of thought, make him throw a little bit. Rain in, bases are loaded. No, Castellanos got that first pitch, and murdered it. So I still think the key
yesterday. We got
the key to selectivity.
Yes.
Yesterday, I had an argument. Forgive me, but I want to add to your argument here. I had an argument with Tyler, right, about swinging first pitch, and you have to. If you see it and you think they're going to come in, get me over fastball to get ahead of you, you can't be shy just to take pitches for the sake of taking pitches. You're only going to get certain amount of pitches to hit and then at bat. So I'm with you. You're sitting on it and you get it. You got to uncork it. I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, that's why I think there's a slight difference between the word patience and the word selectivity.
Yeah.
Early in the count, your strike zone should be small. If it's in your box, you got to rip. And it was a good at bat by Castellanos, a good approach there because it was raining, the bases were loaded. They got a guy coming in, and with the bases loaded, he doesn't want to open you up ball one.
No.
And he just murdered it. So it's a fascinating game. There's no one way to do things. Different ways work for different guys. But when it comes to approach, I just think line drive approach, get a good pitch to hit, small strike zone early in the count, maybe a little more aggressive with runners on base. And the key is always get a good pitch and swing at strikes. And right now we're seeing that. It's really heartening after some of their struggles in that area late last season.
One thing I just heard randomly on an interview during spring training, it might have been with Kevin Long or someone discussing his techniques going into this season or his approach. And in the world of if people say affirmations and people who believe in affirmations and saying things, there's no negatives don't work. So if you would say we don't swing at bad pitches in the theory of mantras, the universe hears we swing at bad pitches. There's no negative. So Kevin Long, they said, his approach was he was stressing we swing at good pitches. And that was all he was saying. We swing at good pitches, which is a really great affirmation to say. No negatives in it. And I think you're seeing that. And I'm fascinated by that.
I am too.
Yeah,
I am too.
Do you have incense candles burning there? This is very.
I will when I get home. Yeah, sure.
So I want to offer this. Yeah. Right. Let me throw this at you because I was going to bring this up at some point. But there's a kid on our team, right, who's a really good player, good hitter, Jaden. All right, Jaden Keenan. So the kid's a lefty, and he's got a lot of power. So he says, Coach Anthony goes, I visualize my at-bats, and I visualize myself hitting home runs. Mm-hmm. And he uses the visualization technique a lot. And I see him, right? He knows that if he's usually when he's in the hole, he'll sit for a minute, and I'll see him close his eyes and he'll visualize his at-bat. And sure enough, man, the kid, twice he did it.
Dude,
and went yard. And he's like, Coach Anthony, I did it. I saw. I was like, my man. It was so interesting because when you look at this game, it's such a mind bleep, right? It's such a mental thing.
Yeah.
That when your head's right, you have such an advantage.
And there's tons of research. That stuff works. Visualize your shots going in, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, visualization is something that John Smoltz worked with that performance specialist years ago, and Roy Halladay worked with one. And they visualized yourself executing pitches, and golfers visualize, tee shots, and it all comes down to attitude and confidence. It's all kind of the same thing. But I would tell that young man, keep visualizing yourself hitting the ball hard, hitting a line drive off the batter's eye. Because, as the pitching changes, I don't think you want to visualize yourself always hitting home runs. So it's a really positive mindset, but visualize yourself driving that ball off the batter.
At 12U, you get a lot of home runs. Yeah. Next year is the wake up when you go on the big field.
Especially when you're the biggest kid on the team. You can take a bad swing and hit it over the fence. So visualize yourself saying through the ball off the batter's eye, line drive. Because you can take that every level you go.
Yeah, it's great. It's just fun, interesting. But I agree with the mantra. I do.
Well, I know. Like when I'm a terrible golfer, but if I'm always like, oh, don't push it right, I'll push the putt right. But if you're like, oh, dead center, that's a different mentality. You don't do the negative. And I thought, man, I would love if you could sit down with Kevin Long and just ask him if he was purposeful with that, trying to avoid the negative.
Well, they are purposeful with it, because a good hitting coach is more psychologist than you are hitting technician or tactician or coach, whatever. Anybody will tell you hitting coach is mostly mental. I mean, I talked to Charlie Manuel about it. You're always pumping guys up and building their confidence. Yeah, you'll work on a mechanical tweak. You'll see something, but there's only so many tweaks you can make. See the ball, hit the ball. And when you have success, that was like the way Johnny Padres was the pitching coach. He was just a master confidence builder. I mean, there were times when guys would be on the mound and they're really struggling. He'd come out and tell them, man, your stuff is great. You're this close. He always building between the ears.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I like it, Jimmy. Good stuff, my brother. Fun as always. Talking baseball. This week in baseball with Jim Salisbury.
I like it. I used to love that music.
Dang. I loved it. Are you kidding me?
And then they hit that crescendo at the end with Garvey raising his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Garvey. He's another one with the sympathizer with the Dodgers.
I hate Garvey.
Yeah. No, he was a Padre on that. You got to look it up when he raised his hand.
Padre then?
I hated Steve Garvey. He was the worst.
Yeah,
I've actually found that song, Anthony, online. I'll play it sometimes.
That should be your intro. When
it's got like
we do the Jimmy intro, it should be that.
I mean, if copyright allows it, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show. It was so special because you didn't have, nonstop wall-to-wall sports on TV. It was just special.
Yeah. The web gems, oh my God. It was the best. Yeah, it was fun.
This Warner, what was his name? Warner Fusell and Mel Allen.
Mel Allen.
Wow.
Mel Allen for this week in baseball. The Tigers off to a big start. 6-2. Thanks to the bird, Mark Fidrich.
Now I love the bird.
Yeah. My man, good stuff, buddy.
I'll tell you a story. I was playing a high school game once.
Sure.
Up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So the bird, he's a rookie in 76. And they ruined him. They pitched him 240 innings, two years out of high school. And he was never the same, the bird. But he had attempted a comeback years later, and he was with the Red Sox AAA team, and we were playing a high school game at that stadium. And he came out early and sat in our dugout. He was waiting, he came out early, and he signed our scorebook, the bird.
Oh, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So love the bird.
Yeah, he was it. My brother, thank you as always, Steaks.
That's my story. That's all I got.
That's great stuff.
That concludes story time with Jim Steaks.
Yes.
What do we got? What's the prediction tonight? Real quick.
Say again?
What's the prediction tonight?
I like the Phillies tonight.
Yeah, 5-2. Phil's 5-2.
Yeah, I go 4-1. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What do you got?
I like Wheeler to have a really good game. And I think the Phillies are going to win a close one, like 4-3.
Okay. I like it. All right, brother. Thank you,
Edmundo Sosa with the big hit.
I like that. Sosa.
Maybe a
There's
complete
no lying in you, Tony.
complete game out of the Smyrna Kid.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think they're going to be
Smyrna.
watching those. They're going to be watching those complete games because they want him popping in October.
Yeah, I get it.
All
Thanks,
right.
buddy. Appreciate it. There he
Love you
is.
guys.
Steaks coming up.
It's fascinating. You just mentioned the bird, and he's got a bird story.
Yeah, he's got the bait. It's like Baldy.
Yeah.
If you mention anything to Baldy, he'll have a story. And it's always a great story, right? Like, that's always a great story. I cannot wait to hear about Baldy's trip to Colorado and seeing Shador. I just saw a mock with Shador going late first round.
Oh, wow. You know,
Yeah.
I heard someone on ESPN said he's an Andy Dalton. That's his potential.
I can see that.
That's not a number 2 pick.
He's a pocket quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what Baldy has to say about it. Let's talk about some of our friends. You want to tell us a little bit about Shady Rays?
Yeah, we'd love to. Big fan of sunglasses. Got to protect those eyes. So it's never too early, even though it's April and been cloudy. Never too early. Start thinking about summer in the sun. Our friends at Shady Rays, they're here to help you get in the right frame of mind and get the right frames on your faces with some premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays, an independent sunglass company. They offer a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their sunglasses, they got a few things that are going for them. Crystal clear optics, durable frames, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor activities. So if you're a skier or snowboarder like Brain on the Aspen, Shady Rays is a brand new collection of snow goggles to help you see clearly and look good on the slopes, available in both kids and adult sizes. And with their frames and their goggles, they got a ton of colors available, so you can always find a pair that's perfect for you or your favorite team's colors. And check this out. If your shades ever go missing or they take an unexpected hit, you don't sweat it because they have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. And if you just don't like them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team's always got your back with some fast and personal support. So, PHLY viewers and listeners, go to ShadyRays.com. Save 35% off polarized sunglasses with the code PHLY. Over 300,000 people rated these Shady Rays 5 stars. So, use the code PHLY today at ShadyRays.com.
All right, I like it. Let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. Always our casino of choice. All the action, excitement, headline entertainment. Always another act, the great restaurants, great night out, MMA boxing, MMA fighting. I mean, you got it all, right? Comedy, concerts at the great Excite Center. This is Parks Casino. This is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. April 11th. What's that? It's coming up. Saturday?
8th, 9th.
The
Friday.
Isley Brothers.
Oh, this old heart of mine's been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away.
All right, the next day, that's Friday. Saturday, comedians Chad Daniels, Kelsey Cook from the Pretend Problems podcast.
All right.
April 16th, 2025. That's it. Psychic Matt Frazier. Your cousin. April 26th, comedian Gary Owen. May 30th, country artist Ashley McBride.
Oh, yeah, Ashley McBride. Never wanted to be that girl.
Now, she spells her name with a Y, not an I.
Yeah.
Now, you think that was purposeful? Because the Y sticks out?
You think she changed it? I don't know. Good question.
May 6th.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think people see a Y.
Y's cool?
Yeah, Y's are cool.
Pops out, yeah.
Y's and Z's. Or X, Y's, and Z's are always the coolest letters of the
Oh,
alphabet.
yeah, you gotta finish the words off with Z's instead of S's.
May 16th, Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
June 7th, VG's cousin,
Oh.
the Long Island medium, Teresa Caputo.
My Aunt Teresa.
You got ghost toots.
That goes Toots. She sounds like a Toots person, right?
Yeah, she's a toots.
She's a Toots. That's great. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. Don't forget, dinner and drinks before the show, Liberty Bell Gastro, Pub and Beer Garden, Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com for all things Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. You have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, this portion of the show brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to discover the credit union difference. Meat locker time. The one, the only, Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football.
Oh, Baldy. That's it. There he is, the legend himself. Where you at? You're in your office. I see in the background. You're
I
home.
just got here. I just flew in. Just got in this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your schedule?
I've got to do this draft show with the Jets tomorrow. So I'm just pulling all this video for them. So I'll be up there all day. And then what am I doing? I'm here just honestly, I just found out that the last day of the draft is rounds 4 through 7. So I'm going to be in LA at our studio. And when Rich Eisen and Daniel Jeremiah need a break on that 7-hour day, they're coming to me in LA to kind of carry the draft. So I got to get to know the last 100, from 150 to 250. I got to really start studying these guys. I want to know what I'm talking about.
Nice.
So I'm just grinding away here.
So how many games, you can't watch every game those guys played. You just watch like a handful of games, or do they have highlight plays that you watch?
Yeah, I have the ability just to, let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say you wanted to watch Nick Skirton from Texas A&M. I can punch in Nick Skirton the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and every single play that he's made can come up. Now, that's kind of a highlight thing, but it's kind of who they are, though, too. You might see all the weaknesses. If it's a receiver, you might not see, you're not going to see the drops. But there's different ways to do the exercise. Sometimes I'll just throw a guy on and just put his game on and just see if he pops, if he shows up, or how long does it take without knowing anything about him, his number, position. When I go, all right, let's go, let's go watch this linebacker and just see what he does.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Because you're right, Baldy. When you see those highlights, you don't really see it. Everybody's got highlight films.
Yeah,
it doesn't show a true depiction of what the player is and what his weaknesses are. I'll put this.
No, but for example, let's just take a kid that the Eagles drafted 2 years ago, Nolan Smith Jr. So if you go and you watch him at Georgia, he had 11 sacks in 4 years. He didn't put up any numbers. I bet nobody does really at Georgia. But what you did study was his movement.
Right.
And how elite the movement was. If the pocket, if the quarterback got flushed and he was on the chase, what we saw, this past year, second half of the season, he's lethal. And he had as many sacks in the last 8 games as he had in 4 years at Georgia. Because because that movement, all right, and the coaching, and then the chance to play, and now you're seeing real development.
See that? That's what you get. That's why he could be carrying the draft. You should be carrying the entire draft.
Agreed.
All right?
Agreed.
I'll put this on your radar, just FYI, Wednesday, tomorrow, Big Dom dinner at Mr. Tony's. All right? So if you're around.
How long does a Big Dom dinner go for?
We're going to be, Mr. Tony, too. We're at Aroma, right? And so Mr. Tony can go for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You remember
the
Mr.
meatballs.
I had you eat at Mr. Tony.
I imagine the meatballs just keep coming.
No meatballs, but a lot of veal, a lot of meats. Okay. All right, yeah. You'll be well taken care of.
All right. I'll see what I can do here. I'll see. I got to do I'll see what time I get back from the Jets tomorrow.
All right, it's a football day, football thing. So
All right.
Tell us about Shador, what you saw, and what your weekend was like.
Well, first of all, you get met by a blizzard. You land in Denver, you're driving to Boulder, and you're in a blizzard on April 3rd. You're not really ready for that. But Shador honestly, I've known Dion a long, long time. We both played with the Cowboys. He's a lot younger than me, but we worked 10 years together at NFL Network. I really like and admire Dion a lot and what he's doing. So, you meet his son Shiloh and his other son Dion Jr., and you get to Shador. Like, they just are confident people. They just are. But I mean, Shador did not have a great throwing session, cuz. Like, the ball, I mean, look, the Mannings threw balls that wobbled and they completed a lot of passes and won Super Bowls. Like, he's got a bad wobble in his ball. It looks bad. He is accurate. Like, especially the further the ball goes down the field, the better the ball is, the tighter the spiral. It kind of reminded me of a young Russell Wilson throwing these deep balls the other day, like literally moon balls. He's learned 5 offenses in 4 years. And, I was talking to Pat Shermer. Remember Pat Shermer?
Yeah.
With the Eagles.
I know Pat well.
So he's his offense coordinator. So I was like, Pat, this is the simplest offense since Chip Kelly's. He goes, it's Chip Kelly's offense. I go, really? He goes, it's Chip Kelly's offense, Baldy. We don't have tight ends, running backs. We don't have an offense line. We went 4 wide. We're in shotgun, and we've got Travis Hunter. We've got, 3 really other good receivers. We just lined up and threw it. So I told Pat, I go, I watched every single throw of Shador's of 20 yards or more over the last 2 years at Colorado. There's a lot of deep balls. There is very little processing, but he has uncanny accuracy on a deep ball. Like, you see guys throw deep all the time. When I see a ball landing like 5 yards out of bounds, I'm like, that's just dumb. It's just a dumb play. Like, give your receiver a chance. You never see that from him. But you do see teams blitz him more than any other quarterback in this country. And while he's not, Jalen Milroe or Jalen Hurts, getting out of the pocket and running, he has an ability to extend plays. It's just hard to watch him and Cam Ward throw a ball and think they're equal. They're not. One's got a completely different arm.
Yeah, I wonder, is he exposed in this sense? Like, I gotta tell you, I'm talking to a lot of people, and there's not a lot of love for the kid. Like, I don't think they look at him as some great prospect. He could slip way down in the first round, if not all the way to 2.
It's possible. I mean, the teams at the very top are very needy, including the Raiders at 6, the Steelers at 21. I don't see him getting past that, past 21, but it certainly could happen. We've seen quarterbacks drop before. Aaron Rodgers dropped to 25. It's interesting, though, but everybody from Cleveland was there. So, of course, our buddy Kevin Stefanski's there. So, he's the easiest guy in the world. Actually, I told the Cleveland Browns, I told this to Jimmy Haslam. I was in a hotel with them on Wednesday night or the night before. So I go, I told him, I go, I give you credit, Jim. It was a lousy season. It's been a rough patch, the whole thing. But you kept your head coach and your defense coordinator. A lot of owners would have blown them out. You kept Stefanski and Jim Schwartz. Those are good coaches. You don't find those in every coaching cycle. I gave him a lot of credit for it. I go, you could turn this thing around with a great draft. You get a quarterback, you get, I don't know, Travis Hunter, whatever, like, you can turn this thing around pretty quick. But Stefanski said something, and I know you understand this, cuz. He's like, Baldy, you just got to see these guys throw the ball. Like, you can watch all the game tape you want, and it's so true. I say it all the time. Until you see a guy throw a football, reserve all judgment. See how it comes out. See how it spins. See this. You watch Justin Herbert throw a football, you're like, oh, that's what quarterback talent looks like. That doesn't happen every day. You don't see that very often. But Shador looked like he really struggled to throw the out routes in that session of his.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's why, I'm just not a fan. I mean, God bless the kid. I hope the kid does well.
But in all fairness, like, they had nothing to work with, cuz. They won 1 game before they got there. They won 9 last year. I mean, they don't have, outside of Travis Hunter, they might not have a receiver that gets drafted. Shador goes, I mean, they didn't have anything.
And they
have a bunch of free agents on defense.
In fairness to them, they had no O-line. Their line play was not good.
But, I mean, the way they got blitzed and, short edges and, blitz zeros coming at that kid. Like, and he found a way to go back and take the team down the field to tie Baylor and win in overtime. I mean, he made a lot of big-time plays, man.
But this is the question, right? Like, if you have a kid like him, and he's not a great athlete, right? So it's not like, he's Jade Milrow,
No.
So
Nobody is in this draft.
no, but you get my point, right?
Yes,
He's
of
not
course.
his arm's not elite.
Yeah.
So what do you got? You got a pocket guy. In fact, VG, would you say you heard comp
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton? That's the ceiling?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton won a lot of games in this league.
Right.
Played a long time,
But
took
if
Cincinnati to the
that's
playoffs
the
every year.
ceiling, is that worth a number one pick?
No. But what was Andy Dalton, second round pick?
Right.
I mean, but Andy, that's a fair comparison. TCU, Colorado, Katy, Texas kid. Shadur's a Texas kid. Well, Florida, Texas kid. But that's not – Andy never had a big arm. He would always struggle when he went – I just think, man, if you're looking at the Giants in Cleveland, they need quarterbacks. And we all know what it looks like weather-wise in Cleveland and New York in November and December. You better have – I mean, it helps to have Joe Flacco or Lamar Jackson or one of those arms or Ben Roethlisberger. You need a Joe Burrow. You need a big arm in those stadiums the second half of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Did you get any sense of, what that program's going to be like? I mean, Deion got the big check. I'm guessing he's on the recruiting trail and he'll be getting you.
I mean, I'm there. I'm watching Shador throw and warm up and get a tap on the shoulder, and there's Champ Bailey. They're all coming. There's Marshall Faulk, there's Warren Sapp. I mean, they're all coming to help in whatever way. It's about recruiting and NIL money, and you got to replace Travis Hunter. He's flat out one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life. The kid literally does not ever fatigue. You watch it, went back and watched his first game.
Yeah.
As a Buffalo against TCU in 102-degree heat. He played 140 snaps, intercepted a Baldy. I mean, the guy can literally. You watch have some fun. Go watch that guy on YouTube play some hoops. Watch just the jam session of that guy. That guy he's one of the best athletes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He doesn't even wear gloves to catch a ball. His hands are so good.
Yeah, he is. He's something. How do you see him being deployed?
Well, I mean, that's the question everybody wants to ask, and everybody's like, "Well, you got a master. You can't be the jack of all trades." Well, all right, that's what everybody's saying. You got to master one side. Mike Vrabel said it. I heard, Steve Smith Sr. say it. I've heard a lot of people say it. I think that guy can just go out and cover. I think that guy can line up as your receiver and literally adjust to any ball in the air the way they say Garrett Wilson adjusts to a ball. That's what he as a receiver. He kind of reminds me of Garrett Wilson. Might not be the route runner that Garrett is. He hadn't had to be. It's not that he can't learn it. He's just been kind of a go ball guy and, deep overs and crossers and stuff, kind of basic routes. He hadn't had to really be a route runner. But that's the Big 12. You're not getting press man coverage out there. You're not having to, Ladd McConkey had to go beat these great corners in the SEC. He didn't have to do that. So, but I think the guy literally, he fishes, plays video games, and thinks about football all day. That's it. You're never gonna have to worry about the kid ever. He's all in.
That's awesome.
I challenged him. I could deep sea fish a little bit. I challenged him to fishing. He's like, don't even try that nonsense. Stop it. Stop. You're never gonna cast a rod out there and beat me in fishing. There's no chance.
Really? I got Baldy. I'll take Baldy over the king.
I just like how fast he came back at me with it, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You should challenge him into.
He's up to a challenge.
You should challenge him with no rod.
Yeah, Baldy fishing with his bare hands.
You grab it with
well, that's called
just a knife.
Okay. So that's called noodling, right? You know how to noodle? You probably didn't learn that in South Philly. Noodling is when you go into these caves, like these underwater caves in Texas, these these bass fishing ponds, and you get these big, huge catfish. You stick your arm into the hole, and the catfish bite down on your arm, and then you pull that catfish out. And some of these catfish are 150, 200 pounds.
What? You're chewing on your arm?
Yeah. Yeah, they get a little piece of it. Yeah, but that noodling, but you're in there with the copperheads and the snakes and the whole thing now. It's not it's a man's game now. You're jumping into these bass fishing.
That's what I don't like. I'm down. I don't mind fish taking. You can do whatever. I'm cool with the fish. The big snakes, like, dude. I went fishing with Kevin Cobb in Texas, and this snake,
He giggled.
it was the size. I'm trying to think of like the width of a telephone pole, right, and probably the length of it, right.
Yeah.
And
Was it an anaconda?
Flew all out onto the boat, out of the water. It looked like anaconda.
It wasn't.
And I was like, get the bleep, what the freak? Like, I'll take a fish. I don't care. I have no
It wasn't
problem
an
with it.
eel. It was a snake.
I don't know. It was a snake. He said it was a snake.
I got to tell you, cuz I'm with you. I have a farm in Denton, Texas. And I remember I have 2 ponds on the farm. So when I first bought it, me and a buddy of mine who played with the Cowboys, we were walking the property, and there was a little rowboat that was off the side of the pond. I didn't know if it was part of the owners who were selling it to me. Is it my new? So anyways, we got this little rowboat, right? And it's face down. So we lift the rowboat up, and there's a rattler coiled up. Like, I don't know, like I can't judge, how big a snake is if it's all coiled, but it's guaranteed it's 5 feet. And that thing is you just hear it. You can hear the rattle before you even see it. I was like, I just threw that boat down. I'm like, that boat just stays. I ain't messing with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. You ain't mess with rattlers.
I don't know anybody handle a rattler.
Nah. I killed one time. I killed a rattler snake one time with a hoe, a garden hoe. I cut its head off. So it was in my sister's backyard in California. So, I was like, I wanted the skin, right? I wanted the skin to make a bandana, like a real, snake skin. Yeah. So I'm like, well, what do you do with the snake? The snake's still moving. Like I skinned it, but the snake, so I just put it in the refrigerator. I don't know, like eat the snake, whatever.
What?
My sister opened that refrigerator and saw that snake moving that was skinned. I never heard anybody yell like that in my life.
Oh my, it was still moving.
You're still moving. Oh yeah, it stays. The nerves are still innervating, So it's still moving.
She saw a skinless snake moving in the fridge?
In her fridge.
That's awesome. How do you skin? You know how to skin?
No, I mean, I just took a knife and just started peeling it, But I wanted to bend. I got the snake skin. I got the rattler skin, and I had somebody make me a bandana out of it.
Get out. You still got that bandana?
I don't know if they come and go, cuz I don't know.
That's interesting.
I didn't peg Baldy for a snakeskin guy.
Well, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you live in Texas, you're going to have some snakeskin boots.
Yeah.
You're going to get them. I mean, whether you like boots or not, you're going to own some.
Yeah, like the Texas thing.
I can't wear boots anymore. My feet just don't feel good. I wore them for a long time. My feet can't handle boots anymore.
Nah, man, I'm out.
I've been barefoot for too long in Florida.
Yeah, they're too constricting, those things.
Pointy.
Yeah, like your feet. How do you get
They got that little heel.
Yeah, I'm out on the boot like that.
I kept one when in 1988, Eric Dickerson won the rushing title with like 1,600 something yards. So I was blocking for him. So he bought the whole offense line these snakeskin boots with like the horseshoe, Indianapolis Colts, the name engraved. It was very, very, very nice gift by ED. But I still have those boots. I haven't put those things on in 20 years. Yeah. But I think I still have them someplace. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's cool. What's the best football culture? Texas, Florida, or like the Pennsylvania, Ohio Rust Belt?
So if you ask recruiters, like before, just take NIL out over the last couple of years, like real hardcore recruiting, where, you're on the road and you're going to these Friday night high school games, whatever. And you talk to any college coach that's hit both Texas and Florida. Here's the debate. You go to Texas, they've been in 7-on-7 since they've been in 6th grade, right? Every single, like in Texas, you go to Allen, Texas, like where Kyler Murray went, they built the stadium first and there was some money left over, then they built the school. Like the facilities are ridiculous. Now you go to South Florida, you might not have anything. You might have maybe a grass field, maybe not. Maybe a stadium, maybe not. Probably not a gym, with any sort of equipment. So you get kind of these kids that are sort of, you go to, where's Jalen Carter from? He's from right outside of Orlando, right? So there's a ton of Warren Sapp is from there. There's a ton of kids from there, but they don't have any facilities, right? So then you go to the coaches. You go, okay, you got the Texas kid who's at everything, Katy, Texas, right? A Katy Tiger. They got that's Houston, right? So they have 6 high schools in Katy, right? Like they all come out. Or you go to, say, I don't know, Northwest High School in Miami, right? So you go, okay, which one has the bigger upside? Is it the Miami kid who has nothing, but he comes from a competitive environment and been playing with literally no equipment? Or you take the Texas kid. So it just kind of depends, because you can get bad kids anywhere. But I think, those South Florida kids, man, I don't know. It'd be hard to turn them down. They look hungry.
I can see that. The 7-on-7 thing is crazy. I've been resisting it, right, for Massimo because it's baseball, right? Like, if he does the 7-on-7, you're not going to be able to play baseball. He's going to have to choose sooner or later, right? Which I hate, but I still want to keep the childhood thing as long as possible. And I don't, truthfully, the 7-on-7, I get it. It helps your accuracy and all, but what's the, I don't understand why that's year round.
I remember talking to CJ Stroud this summer. So they were having they played the Hall of Fame game in Canton. And then the next week they were playing the Steelers in the opening preseason game. So in between, they stayed at this high school, University High School in Cleveland, to practice. So I went to one of the practices, covered the practice. So I see CJ just warming up in the end zone. So I go down, I start talking to him. So I said, what was your level of instruction like growing up? Because he throws a classic football.
Yeah.
He got a great arm, accurate arm, classic delivery. So I'm like, how many different coaches did you have, CJ? Just the basic fundamentals of throwing. He looked at me like I had 2 heads. He goes, I never did any of that. He goes, I played basketball every day. He goes, I go, so you just naturally know how to throw a football? He goes, pretty much. And I kind of feel like that's what's missing is just the freelance, go in the backyard, just throw the football. Go to the high school field with a couple buddies and just throw a football. I was actually talking to Cam Ward about this, and I'm not dropping names, but I was saying, is this a big deal, this throwing session for you? He goes, Baldy, we do this every day after practice.
Yeah.
We take all the routes that we just ran in practice, and if we had trouble with them, we just reload it. That was his word. We reload it, we rerun them again. Timing, what they're looking at. I'm like, kids that throw, like your son is a quarterback, just throw a football. Just go out and throw. I don't think they need the 7-on-7 thing. Because I think some of the coaching is kind of screwy. Are all these good coaches? I don't know if they are or not.
I do. I feel the same way. I look at it and I go, we'll throw a couple of days a week, and all right, that's
no, but real quick, because for example, Mahomes can throw anything.
Right.
Throw a basketball, throw a baseball.
He was a great pitcher.
Golf. He could do anything.
Yeah.
But you think Patrick Mahomes was giving up playing baseball to go play 7-on-7 in East Texas? Hell
Right.
no.
No.
Go play baseball. It's a great sport.
Yeah.
Eye-hand coordination, hitting, working on your arm, release. That's a great sport.
Yeah. Brother, I'm with you, man. Coming up, maybe we'll do this later in the week. I want to start the Baldy versus the mock. All right?
Okay.
And I want to get mocks and run them by you.
All right.
And I want you to poke holes in them.
Yeah, we can do that. Let me just explain one thing about I know you know this, but just for your audience. So, most guys that are, say Daniel Jeremiah. I respect Daniel a great deal. He was trained by Ozzie Newsome. He worked for the Eagles and, Joe Banner. He's been well trained. And he really works at his craft. But I think he's got either 3 or 4 mocks out right now. Then he's going to have one the night before the draft.
Right.
So, you could feel the same way about a player and a team that you did 2 months ago, but you don't want to put the same player with the same team. So there is this inner pressure to just change it up. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it worse. You might have a little bit more intel about, say, a kid like James Pierce, right? He's coming out of, Tennessee right now. And you hear all this nonsense about him, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But he's a talented kid. So, do you have more intel on James Pierce and the issues he had at Tennessee?
Right.
Or can you just take his tape and go, this kid has a chance to be a real wrecking ball off the edge of this league?
It's so. By the way, we're in overtime. Overtime. Yeah, it's so interesting, Baldy, because their boards don't change. They're like people.
No,
like
right.
It's bizarre.
You're
Like
right.
it's stupid in a lot of ways because they have their board. Their board's been set for 2 months. Like they know what it is. It's just about how the thing's going to fall, right? And which is impossible to forecast. Other than like
even like, and look, I'm not going to take a shot at Adam Schefter here. I mean, Schefter's
right.
He works. We know how he works, but he's like, Howie's definitely going to trade. Well, all right. I mean, they got a lot of picks. They don't need all the picks. I can see a trade, but you need a trade partner too, whether to trade up or to trade down. And then, you're trading for in most cases, 1 or 2 particular players, right? So, like they traded for Fletcher Cox back in the day. They moved up to get Fletcher. The Chiefs traded up to get Mahomes. Like, so you could say they're going to trade, all right, but like, what more do you know beyond that? You don't know. That's like every guy, and this is the good Howie and the anal Howie, right? Like every guy I know that's worked for him, they hate this time of year because Howie never stops with these scenarios. He wears them out.
Yeah.
We're okay. Well, what if we're on the clock and this guy is available? What? And they're just going through these scenarios. Well, all right. I mean, I'd rather do that and have at least the preparation if something occurs. James Pierce drops. All right. What's the value? Considering what the issues are, whatever they are. I'd rather go through that process and be worn out than some teams that look caught off guard when things happen.
Yeah, I think that stems from, do you remember the draft where they got kind of snookered?
The offensive lineman.
Yes.
The kid that they drafted that became a real bust. They jumped in front of Houston. That
Danny
kid?
Watkins.
Oh, Watkins. Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to go back to the defensive end, the Smith. What's the kid? Smith.
Marcus
Smith. That was the year they got kind of caught off guard because they traded back.
Yeah.
They thought their guy was going to be there. He was selected.
Right.
And then they were like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? And that's where they got. And I think this exercise stems from that draft.
That'd be a good question. If you get Howie on, that'd be a great question to ask him.
Yeah. Well,
but you're right about that. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Some of that comes back pretty clear.
But I think that's what, off the record, I think that's probably.
Okay. Nobody wants to remember Marcus Smith. That was.
No.
I mean, all three of us could legitimately trip on a football field on a Sunday and get more sacks than Marcus Smith got in his career. Trip up a quarterback.
What's funny? And I wonder what they're going to do. Speaking of bus, right? And you're going to be up at the Jets tomorrow. I wonder how they handle the ultimate bust. The only bust of last year.
Huff.
Yeah. How do you handle that?
Who's that now?
Huff. How do they handle Huff next year?
You've been talking about the Eagles?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Nolan Smith developed. So, they brought in Josh Uche. They brought in, some of these guys off the edge are, they're still young, getting their second contracts. But if they draft somebody, if they draft James Pierce at the end of the first round, all those guys are going to be expendable, including Bryce Huff. It didn't fit. They didn't really do their homework, honestly, on him. And I don't really believe Vic Fangio liked him from the beginning because it wasn't his type of player. He's strictly a specialist. Now, there can be a place for Bryce, but not really the way the Eagles play. So I'm sure they would love to have somebody take him off their hands back to New York, but nobody's going to pay that freight. So I don't know what they're going to end up doing. I don't think he can really develop and be effective the way you have to in this defense, where you're dropping your ends into the flat at times. Just because of the way that you're pressuring from the other side.
Yeah.
I just don't. And then if he's not in a 4-point stance, he's really not effective at all. He's a specific style of play.
Yeah. No, you're and you called that early on about that. I remember you saying that early. You're like, dude, I saw him every one of his sacks. He's got a hand in the dirt. Like
no, but he's in a 4-point stance,
right?
Not just his hand in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like he's in a 4-point stance and it's third down.
Sprinter. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just, and he's got a great takeoff in that 4-point stance. Yeah. And he basically he got 10 sacks, and most of his sacks were off the takeoff. It wasn't because, he's got an elite skill set of moves. He doesn't really have that.
So fascinating. All right, my brother, what's on tap the rest of the day? Just grinding?
Yep. I got a bunch of podcasts. I'm doing one in Denver for All City today.
Oh, nice.
And I got my own to do. I've got the Jets just informed me that the video that I just made for them isn't going to be able to be used. So I've got to find network footage to go make this 2-hour video. So I'm going to be grinding away here quite a bit.
All right. Text me your schedule because we have a Meat Locker interview coming up. So text me your schedule, and then if you can make it tomorrow, let me know. All right?
Yeah, I'm here the rest of the week here, cuz, so we'll make it work.
All right.
Sounds good, buddy. See you now.
Baldy. All right.
Hey, it's Tuesday at the Masters. You know what that means?
No.
It's a champions dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go over Scotty's menu with you.
Okay, yeah.
So he starts off with appetizers. You go cheeseburger, sliders, and firecracker shrimp.
Wow.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, solid. Firecracker shrimp. Love the firecracker shrimp.
I love shrimp.
It's got to be good down there, too.
This comes with
They get the good bubble gum
Oh,
shrimp.
they got good shrimp.
It's a sweet Thai chili with it and a sriracha mayo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out on the mayo.
Then they go Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites.
What's a meatball ravioli bite?
I don't know.
That's horrible.
First course, Texas-style chili.
You can't have shrimp, burgers, ravioli, and meatballs, and then
you go chili. And then you go main course, wood-fired cowboy ribeye or a blackened redfish.
I mean, a big ribeye is nice.
There you go. Yeah.
I haven't had a steak.
You've just had sliders and shrimp, meatball raviolis, chili, and a ribeye.
Yeah.
You got to get a breather in this menu. You need a salad or something. This is way too heavy.
Nah, this is a man's meal.
This is way too heavy.
No salad.
I would skip the chili.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm not a huge chili
I'm
fan.
not either. I maybe because I've never had great chili.
Oh.
Everybody says they make great chili though, and then I taste it, I'm like, well, it tastes like beans.
I want to bring back the. I like the pasta fagioli.
I'm a big
It's one of my
grandma's.
favorites.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I love that. Yeah.
And they finish off. Baldy would have liked this: a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie over some vanilla ice cream.
Man, that's a meal.
Yeah,
that's
that's
last
bedtime.
rites.
And then you got to
After
go
that.
play golf the next day.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I don't know how you deal with that the next day. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's
you in on that, Joey? You like that, Joey? You don't do the meatball ravioli, do you? No, that's not our thing. You know that. No.
Meatball ravioli bites. They must be the raviolis with little meatball inside of them instead of cheese.
They might be fried, like a fried ravioli.
Yeah.
Oh, I love fried.
Oh, really? Yeah, fried ravioli.
Yeah, I love them.
I've never had it, and I can't.
The fried ravioli will never touch his lips.
I've never had it. I've never had the fried ravioli. I'm it's offensive to me.
I'm sure.
I can't do it.
I'm sure.
I guess it's good.
It is, yeah. With the cheese, it's good. Yeah.
With the cheese, what? With the ricotta cheese inside?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm out. I know that's a bro thing. Bro would probably have that.
Fried ravioli.
Yeah.
You do a fried wonton.
Oh yeah.
No, I get so when I love Chinese food. I love Chinese food. But I always get not the fried wontons, but
like a wonton soup.
The steam, the
gyoza.
gyoza.
I get the one. Yeah.
Gyoza.
But I get the steamed,
Like steamed dumpling kind of
the
thing.
steamed dumplings.
Yeah.
I love the steamed dumplings.
Yeah.
I love it. Here's bro. Do you have a fried ravioli? Would you eat fried ravioli?
I mean, I'm not saying no to a fried ravioli.
Have you had one?
I feel like I've had one, yeah.
I'm sure you have.
Is it an insult?
Yes, it's insulting.
Scotty Scheffler's menu, though, that I was just watching.
Yeah.
Slightly better than some others. There's been some bad menus.
It's a quality menu. I mean,
It's a good menu.
I mean, the popcorn strip is great.
yeah.
The
Chili,
sliders
most
great.
people love. Sliders are easy.
Right. I mean, I'm out on the fried ravioli, but I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
The chili, I'm not, I get it.
It's kind of like a mozzarella. It's like a pasta mozzarella steak.
Yeah.
I get it. It's
Yeah,
cheap
yeah,
and
yeah,
good.
yeah, but I get it. And then what's next after the chili?
You go ribeye,
Ribeye
strong.
ribeye or a redfish.
Yeah. Texan.
Ribeye.
Yeah, the
ribeye's my favorite
ribeye
kind.
over the
Yeah,
redfish.
hell
Yeah, that's
Me too. I love ribeye.
Yeah.
Rub ribeye all over me.
I'll be honest with you.
Matsuyama had a good one a couple of years ago.
What do you have?
It was a complete Japanese, like
Oh.
very strong. Yeah.
Well,
Did
wait
you
a
have
minute.
the tonkatsu? With
I
the
don't
pork
know.
cutlets?
Maybe you can find it real
With
quick.
the ribeye, you get a mac and cheese, you get
Strong.
Brussels sprouts, and you get sweet potatoes.
Yeah, Scheffler knows what he's doing.
Okay, but I don't like the sweet potato.
You don't
I'm
like the
out
sweet
on
potatoes? The chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes?
I'm out. I want asparagus, mashed
Yeah, you
potatoes.
big asparagus.
I love the asparagus.
Yeah.
Steak,
Yeah.
the steak and
It's like
asparagus.
one of my least favorite vegetables.
The asparagus, I love.
I've come around on one of the.
I'm a
I
huge.
love asparagus.
I
The
make.
prosciutto wrapped asparagus is a great add.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I make? Asparagus and pasta.
Yeah, that's good.
I love it.
You know
With
what's sneaky good with pasta
rigatoni.
too? Peas.
Oh yeah, pasta peas.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a pasta
Sneaky.
peas is a
Asparagus tips.
is
like
a
all
legend
cut up.
a
Yeah.
legendary item with pasta.
On the other side is a jalapeno creamed corn. You a creamed corn guy?
Nah,
I like the cream.
I like the
corn.
jalapeno. You're a cream corn guy.
Yeah.
My buddy Vinny's a cream corn
Yeah,
guy.
I love
I
it.
don't know.
What's not to like?
I don't know. Give me the corn on the cob.
You're just really renting corn anyway, you know?
Yeah. I like a nice corn on the cob though. Like like a cob. Give me the
You
cob.
Mexican style?
Oh,
Yeah. How about the Jersey white corn?
Yeah.
Is it nice? The white
You know
corn.
what's underrated
yeah.
corn game? Lancaster.
Yeah,
There's places in Georgia
Really?
that sell Lancaster corn.
really.
Oh, yeah.
Why would we have to do that?
Seems weird.
It's good up there.
Well, Jersey's got all that corn. All that
Yeah.
corn.
Maybe some stolen corn valor on the Black Horse Pike on the way down.
You
The
wanna-
white corn is. That's right. The white corn's strong.
Yeah.
When you're way back
Lancaster
from the
corn's
shore.
like Bobo corn in Jersey. You can't have Lancaster corn in Jersey.
I know.
One of the roadside stands we go to, they get their corn in Lancaster.
That sounds crazy. That field's right there. Like, why would they do that?
Jersey corn.
Oh, Jersey corn.
Like, that's
Jersey
the
corn.
thing.
Jersey
I
tomato.
will
And
say
tomatoes.
this. Right.
Stolen valor.
I will say this: the produce at like is strong. The Jersey Rosie's and all these produce stands,
Yeah.
I love those. Yeah.
tremendous. Then you get a big steak. I can go for
And
yeah.
now I want a steak.
I know, me too. We may have to
Me
do like a
too.
PHLY.
Steak day.
Steak
Yeah.
day,
Grilling on
yeah.
the roof. We can do big boy grilling on the roof.
I'm in.
Yeah. Did you want to see the other menu?
Yeah,
Matsuyama?
yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
Matsuyama's is strong.
Yeah,
All right,
here
read
it
it to
is.
me. I can't see that.
All right, your appetizers, you got assorted sushi, sashimi, nigiri. You got chicken skewers.
Yeah.
You got a miso glazed black cod.
Okay.
You have the Miyazaki Wagyu,
Oh, the Wagyu.
which
Wow.
is a beef ribeye
It's awesome.
with mixed mushrooms, vegetables, sancho daikon ponzu, and a Japanese strawberry
Oh,
shortcake.
yeah. Hideki knows what's up.
I'm out on this
Definitely
strawberry
mispronounced
Are
a lot
you?
of that.
Yeah, I'm not a
Strawberry
strawberry
shortcake's
shortcake.
delightful.
Oh,
Yeah,
strawberry shortcake is good.
I'm not a sweets
I don't
guy,
love a sponge.
but I love a
I don't like that
strawberry.
sponge cake.
Yeah,
growing up, my dad would always get
The
that
mini
tray
ones?
of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah,
sponge
yeah,
cakes, a little
yeah.
whipped cream. And
yeah,
like-
strawberries.
Yeah,
Strawberries
yeah,
rule. I'm a big
yeah,
strawberry man.
yeah.
Oh, fresh cream and strawberries?
Yeah, I love strawberries. I like strawberry season. Come on, it's the best.
Oh, yeah.
I make a cocktail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a gin strawberry. Oh, it's tremendous.
Ooh, we might have to do that.
Yeah, lemon strawberry.
I'm in.
Right, it's
Those are like my
really
favorite
good.
things. I love
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I do a lemon strawberry, lemon watermelon too.
Ooh.
Both are outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not anti-strawberry?
I'm not a big fruit in my cocktail kind of guy. No.
I freeze them all the time.
Unless they're the
This way I
cherry.
have the frozen strawberry.
Fun fact.
It's
Fun fact. My
tremendous.
last name is Strawberry.
I cut them
Yeah.
and freeze them,
Okay.
and then I drop them in a drink.
Better
Big
than ice
strawberries guy.
I love the strawberry.
My
Yeah.
last name is Strawberry. If you translate it, if you translate it in Scottish and in French, it both means strawberry. Fraser.
All right.
That makes sense for you.
Yeah.
You look like a strawberry.
Yeah, I'm a strawberry.
Yeah.
I love strawberries.
Daryl Strawberry over there. All right.
All right, good
Back-
talk.
All right, it's good stuff. That's good food talk. Who do you got tomorrow? In fact, come tomorrow. I want a Masters preview. All right, we'll go through it. All right, good. I like it.
Back in the day,
Let's do it.
we're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah.
All right, let us go back in the day.
Do you have the Randall? All right, this is perfect, dude, because Baldy was talking about balls coming out of hands.
Yeah.
This is a collection of Randall, dude, for like a minute long of some of his amazing throws.
I'm down with this.
He ducks under three men. He's looking. He's rolling. He's heaving a deep downfield for Barnett, who leaps and has it at the 40, at the 35-30, 25-20. Barnett's going to score! He has time. He's rolling. He's loading up. He's going deep for Anthony Edwards, who makes the catch at the 10. He's at the 5.
Dude, if he was in this game this day,
Wow, what a talent.
yeah.
Oh my God.
He's just beautiful to watch him
Yeah,
throw the
those
ball.
majestic throws.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody. Thanks to Frazier, Mr. Strawberry, and Joey back from Japan and Asia.
And China, but Beijing.
Yeah, he was all over. We're going to show some footage from his trip tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't
All
wait.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll do some of that. Everybody have a great day. Big game tonight. Go Phils.
Go Phils.
Love you. See you in the morning.
Y'all silly like the mayor.